Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 50/50 Take It or Leave It podcast. Today, music and cinema. Cinema in general, but, you know, we dip into that the
music.
most. Yeah, music, for sure. And the lack of music.
Yeah,
Silence is also important.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We go over that. We go over our last D&D session, which was a banger, I think. I thought it was great.
Banger till 4 a.m.
Yeah, till 4 a.m. It was a long one.
It was a good one. I liked
Fit
it.
in a lot. We had some old people returning, some new people returning after leaving.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, weird. Yep. Just a little bit.
That and more in today's episode. So I don't think it's much of a secret, but on the podcast, we like movies.
Movies,
Yes,
TV shows, yeah.
Yeah, cinema in general, I guess I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a purveyor of the fine arts of the television screen.
Film theory.
Yeah. But we already talked about what we're going to talk about, but, like, do you have a favorite aspect of cinema? Like, that either of you guys have, whether that be, like, lighting or music, like we'll talk about later, or...
It's really tied for me. Angles are super important, like the actual what the camera captures.
Yeah.
Visually, I think that one's super important, and then music has such a huge component in film. It's crazy. I didn't realize how much it was until I did my senior project, and I highlighted that aspect, and I'm like, holy! I read articles about music theory in just film, and I was like, there's so much research in this, and it's like super important.
Well, I mean, I showed you the two scenes before we started the podcast. They're entirely different when you add, like, the music in.
It's all about emotion.
Crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, the aspects of a film that I like the most has to be, like, the writing behind it.
Okay, yeah.
And
That
the
is
music.
important.
Because music is very important. It conveys emotion. It gives you a tone. It gives you everything that you kind of need for that. But if you accompany that with good writing, it all kind of melds together. Because, like, you can have the best writing possible and, like, the crappiest music, and it
Ruins
just
it.
doesn't hit hard enough.
Yeah.
And vice versa. You have great music, but a terrible line, and you're like...
the prequels in Star Wars.
Like the prequels in Star Wars, and you're like,
Okay.
I remember the music, but the lines kind of iffy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, no, the lines are always remembered, too, just not for a good reason.
Not for a good reason.
Sand.
Yeah.
Pocket sand.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
sand. So, like,
if you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Yeah.
you're my
what?
enemy.
You're what?
Whole discussion before we started, Matt thought the line was, if you're not with me, you're against me, like I did.
Yeah, like the
an
saying.
actual, like,
Yeah,
saying.
like the
And
saying
Kyle
goes.
informed us, no.
Nope, it is
George
not.
Lucas
It's not.
wrote, "You are my enemy,"
Not you are against me.
which is all entirely on him.
Yeah, whack.
Whack.
Crazy.
Entirely whack.
Yeah.
Matt, what's your kind of important when it comes to cinematography?
Oh, man. See, so background for everybody. I've never actually taken, like, a class in any of this stuff. Everything I know is, like, self-taught or, like, things I've picked up just by consuming a lot of cinema.
Right.
I think one of the most important things to me is it's where you set your scenes. That sounds stupid, but if you set your scene, like, outside, you need to understand why it's outside. A lot of times I see, like, some scenes take place in movies and I'm like, this doesn't make sense for this to be happening here. Like, if this is your big moment, it needs to happen, like, at a place of significance, not, like, a bedroom.
Yep.
Unless it's, like, an abuse story, because then that would make sense. Right.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
That paired with the music, right? Because if you have your, like, you know, your climax and then there's no, like, swell or, you know.
Right. If you're playing a bop, like boop ba doop boop
Right.
doo doo doo, that takes away from the
It's
whole
gone.
scene. Yep.
Yeah.
You've ruined it. You've ruined that scene.
It is. And sometimes I think this is what the most important thing to me is. I think the use of silence.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, no, that also
silence
works too.
in film is amazing. People are like, well, okay, so people have a general audience member has a misunderstanding of the use of negative audio or silence.
I'm nodding. You guys can't see that. I'm nodding. Sorry.
Matt's agreeing with me. Because the general audience is so attuned to radio. Radio has been the first form of media that the general audience has had a very large and continual consumption of. Now in radio, dead air or silence
Bad. Big no-no.
Terrible. You don't want that because, like we just experienced, Matt was nodding at me, but you guys couldn't see that.
Exactly.
So dead air is terrible. Now in film or any video production, there's a visual aspect to it. So the use of constant audio isn't needed.
Right. Yeah.
Something as a video broadcaster that we're taught is that you don't have to constantly talk like a radio play-by-play caller.
Yeah.
As a video play-by-play caller, because there's a difference. There's a huge difference. You don't have to explain who's lining up on the two. You don't have to. You don't have to explain it.
Yeah. You don't have to go in depth. You just gotta go with like the most important stuff.
I caught myself doing that all the time. I'll be like, Boyer under center, 2 wide receivers to the left, one to his right. I don't need to explain that. Audience can obviously see. They can count.
Yep.
So that use of negative audio or silence is super powerful. It's unfortunate, though, because the general audience sees it as a bad thing. Just because radios attune them to the use of it and it being bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think like it's like most.
That's my theory on it.
No, I think
get it.
there's merit to that. But the thing that I see most with silence that is maybe appreciated or like slept on, I guess, is its use for like tension. Like
silent. Yeah.
Like that is like one of the most powerful things you can have. Like if you like have somebody coming up to a door, instead of having like the doot 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 doot, just have silence.
Yep.
As they come up to the door and start to like open it, because then
that's suspense.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's just the visuals of her opening the door. Like
even to go like
that gets your mind racing. You know? I don't know.
There was a movie I watched recently, Deepwater Horizon. It's kind of it's a film, but it's based on the BP oil spill.
Okay.
With Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
And just
not what I thought it was.
All the events that took place. No, it's okay. It's a well-known film because it's got people like Mark Wahlberg and I forget who plays the wife. Just off the top of my head, but I watched it with a couple friends of mine, and there's a scene. Spoilers from this point on, I guess, if you really are a diehard, want to see it and haven't. It's been out since like 2014.
It's been a while.
2013. Yeah, it's been a while. So if you haven't seen it, that's your fault.
You missed your train.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a scene after everything happened. It's crazy what happens too. Like the whole thing just kind of blows up and people are like gashed everywhere and everything. I don't want to get into the film too much, but basically Mark Wahlberg gets off the oil rig.
Mm-hmm.
BP gets him back to a hotel, meet up with their families and everything. And while he's in the hotel room, he's showering and brushing his teeth and just kind of cleaning up. Something happens where like the upstairs hotel room, like someone stepped down too hard or it caused a bang sound, which like a soft bang, like it just like a, and the film at that point goes silent after you hear a, and then it goes silent for the next like 2 minutes. And all you see is Mark Wahlberg basically go into a PTSD episode of what just happened on the oil rig. And he like, you don't hear the glass breaking, but he falls into the shower curtain, but it's glass. And you don't hear it break, but you see it break. And you see him like crying on the floor and you see his wife run in and like kind of like coddle him almost. And both of them are just in tears sobbing because of this life traumatic experience that he just went through, all in silence. You don't hear a thing. And that scene specifically almost brought me to tears. Like, because of just absence of the emotion behind what he's going through, because I know what PTSD looks like, and I'm imagining that's what he was experiencing.
Yeah.
Right.
And just, it's presented so well.
Yep.
And that it just really, and this is the whole point of film, is to pull emotion. If you're going for a sad approach, you want your audience to cry. If you're going for a horrific approach or a scary approach, you want your audience to be scared. If you're going for a happy approach, you want your audience to cry, but in a
happy way,
tearful.
Not like a
joyful,
joyful, tearful way.
Yeah.
And Deepwater Horizons, even though it was a good movie. It was a really good movie. But that scene specifically made it a good movie, in my opinion.
Okay.
And that's how powerful a scene can be.
Yeah.
Because before that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe this. Because it's based on true events.
Yeah.
And making a film on true events in of itself is really hard to do. Because, like, how authentic do you stay to the story?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a director, you're going to have your creative input.
Right.
Yep.
So, and I just didn't mean to bring up that movie, but that's the most recent experience I had with a silence used, and it's so powerful.
And you mentioned like scary like experience for the audience to be pulled in. I mean, silence can be used in a lot of horror movies too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
and it should be, and I feel like it's not. That's the part that makes me so sad.
Boop, boop, boop.
Right. Or like the violin plucking or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the sting kind of comes in, and then you expect something, and then it's silent.
Right.
And then it's like maybe 5 seconds worth of silence, and then there's the jump scare, right?
Yeah.
But like even in those little 5 seconds, it's meant to be suspenseful because you're like, okay, so we were expecting this, and it gives you that sense of unease because like it's not here yet.
So there's actually a reason why they use those. Is it like 5 measures?
Yeah, it's like the
why?
That or like the plucking of the violin.
Yep.
Those same notes that are always played. There's a theory behind it. I watched a YouTube video on it because consistently through like sound, captured sound, like recorded sound, that sound has been used and presented in a like horrific manner or like presented when something scary was being talked about through history. And it's some neurological thing that the brain thinks when hearing those scary. 4 chords play or 5 chords played.
It's like a learned thing, like a Pavlov's dog kind of like
it's
training
like,
thing on people.
Almost.
Like it's just kind of
it's the way that the notes descend, I think, or something along that line.
It gives you the sense.
It's more
of
music
unease.
theory than film theory at that point, but that's why in horror movies they use that specific set of notes
every time. Yeah,
you can find it in almost every horror movie.
Yep.
Okay. Do you remember the night terrors from D&D and the picture I showed you for those?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, like in the D&D, if it was a movie that I was like shooting, I would have had no audio.
Really?
Like no like music. Because you guys are just walking and then you see like the on the roof or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't. There's no music or anything playing.
I feel like that's more terrifying than the doop 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 doop.
Yeah, no. You're right on that one
because the whole
having
like,
the silence just
point
makes
of the scene is for you guys to be isolated in a place you don't understand.
And having music can help, and also having no music also. It can really give you like a sense of, as you said, like with the PTSD scene, it kind of just taking away that music almost hits harder than adding music in, because like you can imagine there could be like a piano playing in the back that makes it like sad, and it'll hit, but having the silence and like overall silence, you don't hear the glass break, you don't hear anything. It's just him like breaking down of like in silence.
I guess I shouldn't say it was dead silence. There might have been like when
like
you
muffled,
like your ears start ringing, and then there's that.
That okay.
Which also is good.
That's also
that also works too.
So I guess for all the people that listen and are gonna have seen Deepwater Horizons, don't come at me in the comments.
I can hear the comment section. I can hear the typing. Yeah, I don't really know.
Anyway.
No, I feel it.
Yeah, but like music changes scenes. Like that Attack on Titan thing, like that hits so much harder. Like
it does.
But you don't know the full extent of that specific song.
There's
that song
so much.
is used when
really?
The 2 other Titan shifters, bad guys for everybody else.
Yep.
When the 2 bad guys reveal themselves, and they've been with the good guys the whole time.
It's a big thing.
They've been fighting next to the good guys. They're like comrades with the good guys, and then they're like, "Hey, we were the bad guys all along."
We
and
caused
that's
a lot.
The music that
We
comes
caused
up.
a lot of damage.
And so then now
having it turned around like that,
the good guy comes back, infiltrated their city,
and
infiltrated their friends,
and did the same thing.
Reveals himself, picks him up, and does the same thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's a.
And so that music that
nice.
somebody else added in, because they didn't use it in the original like show, which was a like failure on their part.
They didn't.
I'm sorry, but it was.
It hit just because of the scene alone with the visuals and everything, but that song just made it so much better.
Is there a reason they didn't? So I feel like that's a great opportunity that someone missed out on.
Maybe they just didn't. Maybe they just weren't thinking about it when it happened.
I guess.
Fair enough. I know
a lot
like
of the community was like, dude, the music like sucked when he like revealed himself. Like
it should have been bigger.
It should have been like.
Yeah.
But with that, thank goodness for headcanon. That's what it is for me now forever. Like so much better.
Oh, I guess on the topic of music and stuff. Do you guys have like a movie soundtrack that you just can't like?
Yes.
I do too.
I know. I think I know which one hits for
I've
you.
talked about it before.
I have a couple, but like it's really down to 2.
It's like when you were talking about a scene makes a movie with like the music and stuff.
Yep.
That's why it's up, by the way, for me. If I could go first.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't have one right off the top of my head, so I gotta think about
2,
it for a bit.
so.
So
Yeah,
you two go first.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've talked about it on the podcast
Oh,
before.
yeah.
A lot.
It's a good
Like
movie.
like how you started. We talk about film quite a bit on here.
We do. It's such a great medium for storytelling.
There's just a lot of stuff you can talk about in terms of filming.
There really is.
So.
And I love that I'm not classically trained in it at all, but I think it was like Quentin Tarantino that said like you don't have to be. If you want to make a good movie, you'll make it good.
Yeah.
Like I honestly
it's all about the
believe
vision.
that. It's about like and the execution of that vision.
Yeah.
Like because if you're not good at it, then you'll realize that.
It's
you'll
all
like,
about
this looks like crap.
Right.
And
It's just,
redo
it's just the
Right.
effort. It's just
Right.
the effort that you put in with your vision. If you want it to be good, then you will make it good. If you're like going into it and you're like, I don't know if this is going to be good or not, then your shots will reflect that same mindset in a way.
And based off that, real quick, have you guys ever seen the TikTok where it's like, oh, I quit my $40,000 or $40,000 a year job and I'm starting to pursue my passion in photography or filming, and then you see them like taking like really weird angle like shots on their phone, and they're like throwing dust in front of their camera lens.
A quirky.
And then you're expecting like something really cool to turn out, and no, it's just complete crap.
Yep.
It's like, what the hell's going on here?
gave
Like,
up.
it's really blurry. Oh God, there's the sparkles.
It's kind of out of focus. Is this what you were going for? Actually, yes. It's supposed to, because it's really about the dust particles.
It's really it's about the particles and my fingers.
Those
shot.
really crack me up because
his dusty hands in the shot. Like.
yeah, no, I think there's a couple of them where like his fingers across half the lens. It's like, oh my God.
It's part of my
But
work.
I just know people that are like, yeah, filming's my passion and photography is my passion. It's like, okay, you literally don't know how to run a single camera. Please go away.
Well, and I would have to learn how to run a camera, but I have like a vision. That I talked to you guys about it like before.
Well, that's when you hire people that know how to run
exactly.
a camera.
That's when you go to the people who know how to do that to help you execute whatever you want.
Filming is not a one-man crew.
No.
Unless you are a god at getting shots, audio, and directing at the same time. And acting.
Yeah.
Then go for it.
There's no way you can do it all. Filming is not a one-man band.
Extremely hard, yeah. Especially since I got my film kind of in the works right now, and I'm like, I'm going to be in it, but I'm also going to have to direct it.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
But I'm also like, I have it all up here in my head about how I want the shots to be, and they're not like the most, they're not like the most abstract, oh my God, this has never been done before kind of shots. They're just
ask that you don't be like the people on TikTok that quit their jobs to
We're
become
done.
filmmaking.
I'm going to quit my esports and UFC casting job to become a professional photographer, and then my fingers and my grimy Cheeto dust hands are on the camera touching the lens.
You know, a dream job I do have is being a director of photography for some company.
That's a big title.
Yeah,
it's a really big.
Huge
to be
title.
director of photography in a film is like
because all the visual content's on you. If it fucks up, like
that's
you.
It's on you.
Yeah,
like it might be the camera guy's fault,
but you go to the top first.
Yeah, they should. You should have told them to reshoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So DP, that's a big position, if you're looking to just do camera stuff.
Yeah, that's like that's like cream of the crop. Like becoming a DP is like, yeah, I've made it in life. There's nothing else.
And I say DP. I'm not really talking about film because like I would love to do film, but filming isn't like I love.
It's not the only thing you can do with as a DP. There's like
you can be a DP of like a
music video if you really want.
Yeah, music video. You can be a DP for Wells, Blue Bunny, or a DP for Walmart.
Yeah,
and head up all their video content they have to
essentially, it's a good job. I mean, you get paid pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
You just
DP
get to
of Walmart, I can imagine makes a shit ton of money.
It's very niche too.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's not a lot of like competition that you've got.
You're not gunning for top.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
I will become the best Walmart DP on the planet.
My Hero Music Stars as well.
God.
I'll be the #1 DP.
You can be a DP.
You can be a DP just like me.
Well, you have all the kids that go to like film school or broadcasting school that want to be like the next Al Michaels and call Sunday Night Football, and then they don't make it because a broadcaster usually gets a position like that and holds it for 60 years. They do it till they
eventually
are out of life, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, like
They're
it is
crippled
not
and old and can't say any more words.
Yeah, their eyes don't work anymore.
Yeah, when their eyes stop working, then they start looking to replace them. And even then,
you have
maybe
to kind
not.
of you have to just start small when it comes to cast and stuff like that. Like obviously it's gonna take. Oh, you're not gonna go out of college and immediately be like, all right, so next stop, the Super Bowl, baby.
Talk about unrealistic expectations in this world, because I feel like that's really a thing.
Like people want to call the Super Bowl.
Well, like, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna just be awesome right away. And I'm like,
no,
dude, the real world is gonna beat you down.
No, you're
gonna end up with that minimum wage job for the rest of your life, because I don't know if you understand what it takes to make it in this world.
Like, especially with casting, it's kind of cutthroat.
I was gonna say, like,
people
what
are,
I meant by like niche is I meant there's not a lot of like slots open.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
DPs are very hard position to find and apply for.
And casters are also like commentators,
even
casters.
Worse.
It's cutthroat. You have to prove your worth. That's why it's like once you get out of college, even if you have to go do high school events, college events. Fucking little league,
and there are still people that hold those casting jobs for years and years. Like I know plenty of people that have called, like, Swami. For Marshall,
he's been there for a while.
Yeah,
like
he's got 30 years of experience, and he's probably going to be there for another 30 years
because he's just
good.
The guy.
He's really freaking good.
He earned his spot. And that's all it is to it. You got to
as long as he works at the radio station, he's set.
Yeah, and I mean that's a life.
And this is Marshall, Minnesota. We're talking about small town USA.
Yeah.
Freaking go big shot.
And he's the voice.
Good luck.
Yeah, and he's the voice of Marshall for like 30 years. Like you would.
I think it's 30. He might be 30. It might be.
He might be 30 right now, and he's just been doing it since he's been a child.
He was born. Yeah.
came out of his mom
the womb
with a mic in hand, calling his own birth.
But if you listen to some of his stuff, he's really good, and there's a reason that everybody wants him to call stuff.
Yeah. Which is also where I want to be at that point where people are just like, yeah, we got a guy. We got a guy. He's right here. You know, like it doesn't have to be something big, but just having that kind of recognition of we got a guy right here been doing it.
Not to get too far down this rabbit hole because we kind of gotten away from
just
the
a little
importance
bit
of music.
Yeah,
but
I was going to get back to it, but you guys are on a roll.
Yeah, once I'm done with this, then we'll get back to it.
Okay.
There was a sports company, Midco SN, that comes in and kind of covers Midwestern sports. They cover NDSU and Jackrabbits, SMSU, and Augustan, and all those other stuff.
Right.
But they came up here to cover an SMSU game one time, and I was working with the camera ops, and that's because that's where more I wanted to go with it. Because at first I thought I wanted to be like announcer or color commentator and do all that stuff, and I realized I don't like that. You have to have a certain level of things that I don't have and don't ever want, because that would ruin me as a person. So you have to have
I need some context.
Yeah, even I need some context.
You have to have a huge ego and be full of yourself to basically be confident in what you're saying and make sure your audience believes you.
Oh, it's a sense of charisma and bravado that you need to kind of bring to the table.
And a lot of color and play-by-play guys don't know how to turn that off when the mic goes off.
Yeah, so there are people like that.
If you ever run into a person that professionally, Swami doesn't do this.
No, he's a humble man.
He is very humble. A lot of the times,
is it like narcissism, or
it's like a sense of
speaking down upon, so kind of narcissism.
He's like, I'm the voice of this, and so thus I'm great. Like I'm top dog because I call games. I don't want to be like that. You know,
right? Well, no one does. No one wants.
No one ever wants to be.
And I'm sure you won't be like that. But the majority of announcers for a lot of the sports, especially on a big scale, like you're talking millions and millions of viewers. If you stumble on your words and don't seem confident about what you're saying, or a statistic or a rule that was just possibly overturned, they're not gonna believe you, and they'll change the channel. Because they're like, this commentating sucks.
You tell a story, and if your audience doesn't like the story you're telling, they're going to either get bored of it, they're going to get mad at it, and they're just going to change the channel.
And half of that comes from the confidence.
Which also kind of relates back to movies and writing, because if you're not telling a cohesive story, you got that music with it, it just doesn't hit as hard.
But you can talking with a camera guy from Midco, he was like, Yeah, there are some people that are meant to be play-by-play and color guys or commentators, and then there are some people that are meant to be camera ops.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Camera
I
ops,
was like,
do want to try it though, and they do, and
All
I
right.
commend them for it. So
Not to like
Go
get
too
off,
deep. Yeah.
again,
again,
but
wow, we're really good at this, guys.
yeah, I know. I was in,
broadcasting majors, boys. Ooh.
my favorite class I've taken at SMSU so far to date, right now, is the one I'm taking. It's called American Political Thought.
Okay.
I love it. I love it. It's a very, very niche class for a limited amount of people,
Fair.
Right.
but I love it.
Good class.
Yeah, it's
I've heard good things about it.
it's great, fantastic for me.
Yeah.
We were having a discussion today, and like the thought came into my head. It's like different people are meant to do different things, like
Yeah.
in life. Like
Yeah.
I won't go too deep into it because it touches some things that like I'm not gonna like mean it how I say it, but people are gonna take it a certain way, and
Yep.
so I'm not gonna like touch it. But like I was like there are like you have skills, and they're not the same skills as everybody else.
No.
Yeah.
So you have to like find the things that you're good at and do those. That way you can climb the ladder, make lots of money, all that
do the
stuff.
thing. Yeah.
Right, be
Those are green.
successful.
Yeah.
But speaking of being successful, music in that Attack on Titan thing changes it completely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It makes or breaks your scene.
Yep.
It really does.
It's why I'm focusing so hard in my film to like find music that just works. Because obviously copyrighted music on YouTube is like a no because
big no.
So I have to like make or find royalty free stuff and make it my own,
I feel that.
which is not the hardest thing, but it's just finding that, thinking of a scene in your head and being like, I need this kind of music, where it's like, I just need this kind of tone, and it's just
Well, on the topic of tone, that's
Yeah.
why Up is my like favorite. Like
Yeah.
that scene in Up
the
where
beginning.
where they go through like
Yeah.
life and then he lives alone. After the piano, also there is hanging silence. I think as he walks to his house.
Yeah.
Again and closes the door.
Yeah.
Which is used perfectly, and that's when the tears come.
Mm-hmm.
In that silence after all the
Yep.
piano comes through.
Yep.
But like the way I know that it's good is even when you're not watching that movie anymore, you hear that and you still are like, oh man, like it makes you down.
Yeah.
Like it brings you down.
It is.
I think that's a
that's-
testament to how powerful music can be in movies.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. Because, like, Up just has that kind of emotional hit, especially at the beginning where
It
you're
does.
going, it's happy, it's sad, it hits everything right.
Happy, it's sad. It's kind of getting happy again, and then it's boom,
Rock bottom.
rock bottom sadness.
I think,
Injustice probably, but
oh, yeah.
So I had to look up, and I was gonna go. I specifically looked up Disney soundtracks.
Yeah.
And I
Those
just
are
kind of
good.
scrolled through which one, because I knew it was probably gonna be Disney based anyway. I'm sure I could find a movie that I'm like, oh yes, that soundtrack sounded great. I don't when I'm watching movies and films, I don't necessarily pay
Attack on
attention.
Titan soundtrack is so good too.
Yep.
Also,
Right, and
but-
I don't. I guess in music in general, I don't. It's sad to say this because music is so important, but I necessarily don't pay attention to the title and the artist of the song.
Yep.
I'm more
Yep.
focused of just the content,
Yep.
Yeah.
which is sad. It's really sad. It pains me to say that because I'm like, they deserve more credit than what I'm giving them.
It's different for me because I have to put playlists together for you guys
Oh,
for
for
D&D.
D&D. Yep.
So you have to
So I
find
have
those.
to know
Yeah.
the name of the song
Yep.
and all that.
Right. But I looked up what Disney soundtrack, or I just looked up top Disney soundtracks, and then I scrolled through and I was like, which Disney movie do I remember the music just hitting with
Hitting.
me?
Yeah.
Hercules.
Hercules does have
Hercules.
it has a bumping soundtrack. There are
Huh.
some
Yep.
good songs in there.
There's a moment, it's early on in the movie.
Zero to
but
Hero hits way too
Zero
hard.
to Hero is a really good song.
That hits way.
When-
I
too
don't
hard.
remember it.
Oh, dude,
It's when
you
he's
watch
it's a-
Hercules and
it's
you'll probably
training
know every
montage
song. Like
Is it the one that's like Hercules? Is it that
No,
one?
that's the opening song.
that's which also slaps.
slaps.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't remember it. Maybe we'll
Honestly, just
We'll
show
have
me
to sit
that
down.
during break.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll watch it during break. But the song, I can't. I was gonna try to figure out the title, but I couldn't in time, so it's fine.
Okay.
But people who have watched the movie know. So when he's, I think it's after he destroys the market
Oh,
and he's walking
oh,
up to
yeah.
go pray to Zeus.
Yeah.
That soundtrack that music that's played up until that, and he's like talking to the sky and he like
Yeah.
sees the different constellations. Like that song specifically for that moment is just like
It's good. It's a really. I'm just.
damn.
I know
related
exactly
to that,
which one you're talking about.
I related to that heavily as a child, just because
Yeah.
I was like, man, I feel that.
I'm Hercules.
I'm destined
Yes!
to be great, but I just don't know why I'm not yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think
yeah, we never got to your soundtrack.
Yeah,
it's all
we
good.
never
I mean,
did.
Hercules is a good movie. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Yeah.
So for me, I have like 2 soundtracks. It's more like theme songs, like for those soundtracks, and also just the overall movie
My
too.
Hero, so good
My
too.
Hero also has really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But for films, only 2. I mean, Disney's are good,
Right.
but it's Lord of the Rings and Star Wars for me.
Those
Okay.
Like Star Wars just has it's the iconic theme, but then there's also like Duel of
Okay.
Fates, and there's also like some
Yep.
other stuff in there, like Kylo Ren's theme. Not gonna lie, as much as the sequel trilogies are kind of iffy for me, I
The
really
music
liked.
was
I
good.
really liked
Yep.
the music.
Especially Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
So when he
Loved Kylo Ren's theme, dude.
when he goes down
Yeah.
like, into the thing, and then like Darth Vader and all those
Yeah.
are talking to him about like I'm the voice inside your head
Yeah.
with the Emperor in the trailer,
Mhm.
and it's Kylo Ren's theme, but then it slowly transitions into the
Yeah.
Emperor's theme, and then the lightning starts going like
Oh,
all over the
it's
place.
good.
I'm like, ooh.
I gotta give it up for that just the music alone helped, especially the trailer music for that movie
so good.
was the best
So good.
I've ever heard, and the movie was not the best I've ever
Nope.
seen, but that music just. And then Lord of the Rings, the same thing. They just have a really iconic song, and there's just so many songs that I can remember.
Dude, not
just
Lord of the
hit.
Rings, but The Hobbit.
The Hobbit's music
Misty
is
Mountains.
Yeah, the Hobbits are also good. The
Yeah.
movies, I'm like, hey, they ain't-
that song that's just real deep and low.
That's Misty
Yeah.
Mountains.
No,
Yeah.
that is Misty Mountains. Okay,
Yeah,
like I
that's a
said,
good
I don't
song.
know title. I don't remember titles or artists,
Yeah.
but that one.
I
that
just
one
like the
hits
soundtrack
different.
for that,
So good.
and I love the soundtrack for Star Wars. They just kind of they get you like to feel something in a way. Like when you're in the Shire and fucking Lord of the Rings, and they're walking around the fucking
And it's a
dainty
happy,
song,
like, yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is kind of peaceful. And then you would go to like Mordor, and it's just do 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 do, and then you hear like the. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
that shit hits
Dude,
every time.
music's so powerful.
It
So many
makes or
different
breaks
levels.
It
scenes.
makes or
yeah.
breaks scenes.
And it's not just film, like documentaries.
More head nods.
yeah,
Yep, lots and lots of head nods.
documentaries.
Like the documentary I had to make, like I didn't realize how important the music was. I had to go back and change the music because I was like, this isn't what I want. This isn't
what you're trying to convey.
I had to ask a buddy of ours who also is on Omni Entertainment, Nick. We've had him on the show. I had to ask him for for a login for a music bay
Mhm.
because the free one we have at the school just didn't have anything I wanted. I was like, Nick, I need a better
I need
option.
more.
I need
need
a
more.
better option. Not necessarily more, but a better option.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is something better out there that's going to suit your needs for this scene.
Yes.
Yep.
And,
And you found it, I think, right?
yeah, I did. It's crazy because I really like a rack focus. Also, this is why I like shot so much. There's when you rack
focuses
focus,
are pretty nice.
dude. Rack focuses are so cool.
Especially
I love
if you can
rack
master the rack. I remember I did it for the Star Wars reenactment scene that we did with you.
Yes.
And yeah, and it was like I did it for the first time, and I was
I
like,
worked
can
with you on
yeah,
it,
I was like, I
too.
can see why you like it so much,
Dude,
because it's
it's-
clean.
Guys,
Dude.
for the audience.
Yes.
So a rack focus,
rack focus.
essentially.
It's when you change your depth of field on your camera
Yep.
while recording. So essentially, you see it a lot in films too, like especially from a front over the shoulder shot. This is essentially what Kyle did with his reenacting film or reenactment scene.
Mhm.
He was focused in on me, and our buddy Chops, who was playing Obi-Wan, was behind him, and he wanted the camera to pull focus from me onto Chops. So essentially, I would go out of focus. I'd become very blurry.
Yep.
Chops, you could see basically all of his beard hair. And I had to work with Kyle on this because it's really hard to do
Yeah.
because you're working with actors,
gotta,
so
like-
you have to do it as they're talking.
Yep.
So I would stop talking. Kyle would pull focus to Chops, and then Chops would talk, and Kyle then had to go back to focus on me as I began my speech
Another
or my
Monologue.
dialogue.
Yeah, another like real world example, I guess. And I mean, if Mitch wants to maybe back it up or maybe not back me up, it's like you're in a car, right? And you're like looking out the window, and you can either look at the window, or you can look kind of through the window. You know what I mean? Where it's like
Mm-hmm.
you can look right at the
Yeah,
window
yeah.
and just kind of
See
like
the reflections
see the
and stuff.
reflections, or you can kind of focus through the window and see what's on the outside.
Yep.
That's kind of what I like how I interpret rack focuses as, because it's just like you're looking at something close, and then you can just kind of focus it, go past that, and that goes out of focus to the outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
I use
And
rack
it's really
focuses on my
nice.
documentary when I use them as transitions. I think they work really well for transitions. Basically, it was a sports documentary about some kid in high school who's really, really good at basketball. So I basically took the logo that sits on the free throw lane and just went out of focus and then back into focus with it.
Mhm.
And I just use that as transitions between the story I was telling because you need transitions to do that. But I just use rack focuses to do that, and it did a perfect job, and it worked great with the music. There is one part of that documentary that the music just doesn't quite hit because I just couldn't find anything that I wanted. And it was kind of like, project needs to get finished. Just finish it, Mitch.
We got a timeline coming up, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because he sacrificed then at that point.
Yeah.
But, yeah, music and, like I said at the beginning, shot are super important,
Oh, yeah.
and music. Shots and music.
Shots, music. I mean, honestly,
Script writing's also super
everything.
important.
Editing, yeah,
editing,
everything.
writing,
oh, dude,
the
we could have
actors.
I could talk all day about lighting and how important lighting is.
Yeah.
Lightning
The
is
symbolic reasons behind lighting too, especially with like
Yes.
faces and stuff. Oh, that's one of my
and
favorite
lightning
things.
or
Mhm.
lighting you can really mess up
Yeah.
because you may be conveying a message you're not trying to just because you don't know how to properly light things.
But if you get it down,
Yeah.
it can hit different.
is
The absence of light is also super important.
like the Jado film, when like the red lightsabers kind of glow on my face.
Yep.
I really like that. Like that's just a good sense of lighting because it's like it over like takes me in like red.
Yep.
And it just looks really nice. And then you have like the comparison with like the green glow from like Cole when he was, and it kind of just works in a way because it's like
Yep.
overwhelmingly bad, overwhelmingly good, but that just makes it that much
Yeah.
better.
Let's not get into lighting.
But
Lighting can be a different
But lighting
episode.
is for
Yeah.
a different topic.
different time.
So
Different time.
yeah,
Music, super important.
yes sir.
Specifically music. Audio in general is super important.
Oh, yeah.
Music
It's-
specifically.
It's slept on too, I feel.
Oh, 100%.
Yep.
Because, like, you might remember, or you might forget some details about Harry Potter, but you always remember, da, 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 da,
Yep.
right?
Yep. That's just an iconic theme.
That
Iconic
soundtrack
songs.
also really slaps.
Like
Yeah.
some people don't even know that Voldemort is Tom Riddle, but they always know the, da, 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 da. They're like, Harry Potter, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah.
what's my house?
Yep. Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right, every teenage white girl.
I'm
Yeah,
Gryffindor.
right. I'm Hufflepuff, what does that even mean?
Ugh.
Yeah. But anyway, Kyle, you said you had 2, right?
Yeah, it was
Did you talk
Star
about-
Wars
oh,
and
Star
Lord
Wars,
of the Rings.
yep. Jurassic Park has a good one
Oh,
too.
dude, Jurassic Park is so good.
I thought
Yeah.
so too.
so
Yeah.
amazing.
So much.
There's
Oh,
The
I-
Marvel Cinematic Universe, I
Yep.
love theirs. Shield,
yeah.
like
Yep.
Agents of Shield has a great one. So good. I stole it for the campaign.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's for something coming up soon, hopefully.
Sweet.
Speaking of D&D,
Speaking of D&D.
Speaking of D&D.
we should probably enter that ad break real quick.
And
Yeah,
hey, I was about to say, we'll talk about it after.
Yeah,
the
we.
break. So, back from our break for our regularly scheduled D&D recap. As always, I will take a back seat. Guys, what happened last time?
Lots of things. Lots of things happened.
Yeah.
I think you just gained 3 chins with that.
I
with that.
Yes, I did.
I don't even know what to call it. Move?
I mean, we start off, I guess, with this.
Spider chasing.
Yeah,
We're still getting
we
chased
are
by
still
spiders.
running from spiders. We also, not exactly, as mentioned before. Remember, we were talking about how we were setting the forest ablaze. We weren't setting the forest like ablaze, but it was definitely catching for a little bit.
Yep.
I got in an entanglement with some spiders. I didn't die, thank God. This is actually
Close to it.
one of the campaigns that I actually didn't go down on, which is very
One
surprising.
of the campaigns.
One of the only sessions where I'm like, I didn't go down this time. I'm proud of myself.
It's a good job.
I
safe
used
to
some
say.
of my transformation for the first time since like doing it, which was kind of cool. And I actually did like something kind of cool, and then I tried to recover, and I'm like, all right, I'm back in. But like, Timeless came up with the plan of
Going to the water.
Going to the water,
Which was a
diverting.
brilliant
Smart
idea.
move.
Yes.
And we all kind of, some of us almost in deep trouble. Me and Zion,
Yep.
because we were the
of
ones
course.
who kind of fell behind the most. But we made it to the water, wounded. But we
But
made
alive.
it, but alive.
But alive.
Exactly.
Along with the Black Dragon.
Along with the
Yep.
Black Dragon, who was chilling. And
What's his name again?
Dragon?
No.
Oh, you mean Leoffa's casserole, custodian, Castiel.
Castriel.
Castiel. It's something.
Casserole.
I'm trying to think
To
of
Americanize
like
it.
because I know it's like Kosh Real or something like that.
It's
Kosh
like
Real.
Casariel or something like that.
Something like that.
Casserole.
I think it's like casserole. So we're gonna stick with that.
It was not casserole.
Or we can go with what Arthur named him and just call him Acid
Acid.
Spitter. Or I go and just abbreviate all that and just call him Ass. That is his name now, Ass the Dragon. So
Okay, he paid us, so
he, that's for later.
Yeah.
So
that's
We,
right at the end. Spoilers.
so
Spoiler.
yeah. So we're in the water in this little pond area trying to figure out what to do next, and the spiders, kind of chilling there for a little while,
Watching us.
and we kind of talked to the dragon about what happened and how we're gonna figure it out.
He was disappointed.
He was
to say
very
the least.
disappointed. Edwin decided, we're gonna try wakeboarding, which never
He
been
got-
done in this world before.
He got really excited.
He got really excited about
Way
it.
too excited about it.
Almost kind of scary the amount of excitement he had
Yeah.
about us leaving the water.
Matt voiced it very well.
Yeah,
He
big
did a
smile.
great job. He's like, I would like to try this.
Yeah.
And he drew a big grin across his
Yeah.
face. I was like,
So-
oh, this is gonna end poorly.
Yeah, so he's busy trying to get some wood to turn into a
Wakeboard.
wakeboard of sorts, and we're gonna use either we were gonna use the spider silk that we somehow grabbed, or we were gonna use just some rope that we had still, which is very interesting because
What did Timeless and I talk about while Edwin was carving wood?
weren't you guys talking to the dragon about stuff?
Oh yes, we
Like
were
draconic
talking.
and
We were
stuff?
talking draconic to it. Yep.
Also,
Yeah, we
I liked. I don't. Can everyone just speak draconic?
No,
now?
just
just you, Edwin, and Timeless.
Timeless. Yep.
Okay, because I was like, he's talking to Zion, and then them two are also answering. So I'm like, do they also know draconic?
Yes.
I'm gonna assume so.
Also, I'm glad I picked draconic when I was just a ranger, but I kind of screwed myself out of a free language, if I'm being honest.
Well, I mean,
Because I just know draconic as being a.
Yep.
Yep.
yeah,
Just kind of screwed myself out of a.
but I mean,
But it's okay. But
in hindsight, 2020, it was like just something that you kind of came up
it's
with,
the
and then,
downfalls of being multi-class.
yeah.
You just got to take losses like that. with
Also,
the chin.
I'm not gonna. I mean, that's for later. I'll mention it later. But we had an idea of how we were gonna kind of get across. I mean, Zion tried swimming across, and something touched his little foot. We don't know what it was.
What was that? Was that just a?
We're not.
Would it have been a random encounter if I'd rolled lower? I don't even know what you had me roll.
You rolled just
Was this stealth check?
Perception.
a perception
Oh.
while you were swimming, and you rolled pretty high. So you just kind of swam, and something brushed against your leg. Or
Felt something
yeah,
brush against your leg.
and that was it. Nothing. I mean, nothing. It could have just been
Weird.
a fish. It was probably just some kind of walleye, some kind of bass. I mean,
Who knows?
yeah. So we had
Sus.
we
Or
had
is that just me messing with you? Because I can do that.
Probably.
we,
Maybe.
we had a
Maybe not.
we had a few ideas on how to cross. We were either going to A, just swim, B,
Pocket
Lealpha was
dimension.
pocket dimension was also just put down a piece
Yeah,
of driftwood, which
had
we
to-
also had to kind of tweak a little
Yeah,
bit
I had to rearrange the rules on that a little bit.
which is understandable. And then Lealpha was also trying to walk along the shallows and make footing for stuff.
Yep.
And we
Ultimately, we just swam across.
ultimately we just
We
kinda
spent 45
we
minutes.
spent 45 minutes trying to make this makeshift wakeboard, only for it to snap in two, and then we just said, let's just swim across. So we did, and we devised a plan
Yep.
what to do next, because you guys were talking in Draconic about the ruins that Aaron kind of
Yes.
stumbled upon as a possible hiding spot for where they've put him. And as we swam across, we decided on a plan of attack.
Yep.
to
So Leatfa, Timeless, who I guess is Brazil now.
No,
No,
the Timeless is still Timeless. That's that she'll just
But I
revert back
thought-
to Timeless.
I thought she had her
She
cha-
turned into Brazil.
She turned
again.
into
Yeah,
Brazil
she turned
to
into
kind of
Brazil because that's what the plan needed her to do.
for the yeah.
Okay, she wasn't Brazil yet. give me like a minute.
Just
So
give it some time.
So we're making this plan. Timeless, Edwin, and Leatfa, we're going to go to the ruins, and Timeless then changed into Brazil because she's a halfling, and make the flying on the broom easier, but they ended up not doing that and just having Leatfa carry her, correct?
Yep.
Piggybacking.
Because the broom was not
hard to control with
it was
two
hard.
people.
Yeah,
Not impossible, but hard.
Yeah, and it was a recon mission, not anything that we're just gonna go headfirst into this. And because it was a recon, and only those three were going, was because I had taken a point of exhaustion.
Yep.
And Oberon was out of spell slots. Arthur could have gone with, but he's just not the stealthiest. And it was more of a stealth mission than anything else at that point. So
yeah,
So the three of us stayed behind while the three of them went forward, and I really wanted to go, like character and player wise. I'm like, I really want to go.
But yeah,
So I have a feeling he's there. He's definitely there, and they're not gonna go deep enough. And they didn't, and he was there, and he died.
well, that's spoiler.
Foreshadowing. He died.
Yep.
That's not foreshadowing. You just straight up spoiled the rest of it. We gotta build up first. So
Nope.
He died.
I
He
miffed.
did.
He died.
yeah,
Because
so,
we took an 8-hour rest.
Yeah, so essentially, as they went to go search for stuff, Arthur mentioned that he wanted to take a look at something in the Pocket Paradise for Zion, and he brought me in there as well, and we examined the statues, talked
Looked at
about Lucifer's like expression and how he looked when he got petrified, and it was kind of like, so whoever he saw obviously scared him half to death.
Yep.
And whoever these people are seem to be very powerful people. And we also kind of talked about possibilities of how Aaron, what's Aaron? Why did they take Aaron?
And Zion got really pissed.
He did.
I stormed out kind of childishly.
As you probably would, hearing about your mentor possibly working for the enemy. There was also the idea of he just took some stuff and he just made the wrong people very mad.
Which is what
happened. And
to back up just real quick,
yeah.
he was skimping really magical and powerful artifacts like off the top of excavations and digs.
taking them for himself
and keeping them. He was a collector, basically.
Essentially, he's a thief, kleptomaniac. He's not a thief.
Collector.
He is a collector.
Very ancient and powerful and I don't want to say like esoteric. That's not the right word, but
hard to find, very rare. Kind of things that you would maybe want documented on pieces of paper.
Right. Things that belong in museums.
And
that kind of stuff. And he was
it belongs in a museum.
Right.
Yeah.
To quote Indiana Jones. Also, good soundtrack on that as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, not to bring it back to the first half, but
yeah. So
great soundtrack, Indiana Jones.
Honestly. So we discuss that kind of stuff while they're doing their thing, and
we kind of did a split break, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah. So meanwhile,
everybody got a split break.
Yeah. So as
except for Matt,
except for me,
except for you. So
we brought you back Taco Bell though.
You did.
So
which I was very appreciative of.
Oh, I know.
That Mountain Dew is what got me.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was unfortunate because they didn't have Mellow Yellow, which was like that.
Matt requested Mellow Yellow.
Either or is.
I figured.
Yeah, I like Mountain Dew more than Mellow Yellow. They just
sweet.
have Mellow Yellow at the school because it's a Coke product school.
We just switched.
Yeah.
What?
We used to be a Pepsi school.
And then they changed the Coke. Yeah.
This past year they switched.
Yeah, it used to. Yeah, no.
Why do you think all the vending machines have debit card readers now?
Because it's a Coke.
Because they just switched.
Yeah, it used to not be that way.
They had that in Sweetland.
Yeah, only Sweetland.
Yeah, but now it's
now
it's everywhere.
Yeah, now it's everywhere.
It was not the same.
Okay, I was like, I remember getting. You guys just said that. And I'm like, I remember getting Mountain Dew in Sweetland.
Yeah, no, I remember too.
COVID.
Yeah,
when COVID first hit, I was like going down there like all
swipe,
the time.
Swipe.
Yeah.
It was only in Sweetland that had the card reader.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to D&D.
Yep.
Yeah. So the rest of the group, while we were discussing what happened to Aaron, the others were going to their base of operations or a possible base of operations, and they found this clearing, and what they found was, most of the place was kind of charred, but not like freshly charred.
It was ancient.
It was very old. Like you would think maybe, because we caused those fires, maybe just reach all the way back here. Maybe no.
Also, Leatfa prayed to her goddess, and the goddess put out the fires on the forest, which I was like actually very thankful for because I didn't want the forest to burn.
I mean, for the first time in our campaign, I remember her the person she prays to actually answered
and came
her prayers. She doesn't do that. I think this is the first time she's done it. Maybe it's very rare. Like most of the time, I remember like when
so
Brazil did it, and then that worked.
It was because
She also-
Leafa was praying, and it was just wasn't enough. And then Brazil prayed,
And it
then
was.
then
the multiple
goddess
cries.
was like, the goddess was like, oh dang,
Yeah.
it must be serious if 2 of them are calling for help.
Yeah.
I think
But
that's
it
how
worked.
Matt phrased it. It was because Leafa just wasn't rolling high enough.
Which I mean,
And Brazil
you don't
rolled
want
high
to. You don't
enough.
want to just. You don't want to just say, well, unfortunately, she just didn't hear you, but she heard Brazil real well. You can't be saying that because that's kind of disheartening to the player. So
Well, I think that's how she took it
I think
at first.
that's the character arc. Why does my God not want to listen to me? That's just how it goes.
Yep, fan art, baby.
So
Also-
if you guys want to send in fan art, no, I'm just kidding.
There was
Love that.
music you played that Critical Role plays during fan art section. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I'll watch for Vex and Vax fan art because I find that really cool.
they have some pretty nice art.
Yeah, and
They have
then
some
that's
really
the music-
talented fans who do their art. Like,
yeah, no kidding.
and I'm just like,
But-
golly, like.
But yeah, that was the same music you were playing at one point. I was like, I've heard this music before.
It's just great D&D music.
No, it
Yeah.
is.
It is.
Critical Role does a good job.
So
Great people to borrow from.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah. So they stumble upon these ruins, scorched,
Hole in the side of the
big hole in the side of a building, a lot of discolored rubble.
Tell them, well, so there's like the singed rubble, and then there's like fresher rubble.
Yeah, where it's like that's
Not
strange.
as charred.
Yeah,
More.
it's just
more
It's
recent.
lighter.
It's
Yeah,
lighter,
It's lighter. It's a fresher. It's a good word.
yeah. So
Yep.
they kind of get closer in. I mean, well,
Tell them what it was.
yeah.
We're getting there.
Okay.
Build
Lay
up.
off-
We
lay off-
got Matt on the edge of his seat.
Yeah, we want people to know. So
I made it.
Lealfa stays behind
I
while
love it.
Edwin and Timeless kind of go in, and there was a lot of things that they've discovered just by getting closer. One, there were 2 nude, mutilated bodies,
Headless.
headless.
One was headless.
One was
Oh,
headless.
one was headless.
Yeah, later down the line I kind of look at them a little more just to see what's like going on. But the rubble, the fresher rubble stuff turned out to not just be like stonework on a building, but stone of petrified people
Yes.
who have been cleanly cut for some, almost like smashed into pieces, right? Like there was, they fell over and shattered. And it wasn't like people. There was also mind flares, which were also like, oh, that's strange.
Oh,
Mind flares are pretty strong.
You know what we should have done?
Hmm.
We should have taken a mind flare that was like a full, like wasn't hurt at all. Should have grabbed one
And
and
unpetrified.
done a greater restoration on it and like tamed it and made it our pet. Because we have a thing for that apparently.
I don't think mind
No.
flayers are able to be tamed unless you're really
No,
really
we
good
just
at it.
unpetrified it, so we make it be like, hey,
That's
we
not.
just
not how it works.
unpetrified you.
That is not how it works.
That might come back in later
I
and
bet-
bite us in the
'cause-
butt, but
'cause the
we'd
thing
have a
is-
mind flare for at least 3 sessions.
Well, think about this, right? When Lucifer gets unpetrified, spoiler, he gets unpetrified. He comes out scared, right? So imagine this petrified mind flayer who's
Yeah,
probably in the middle of killing someone, or,
Or
in
at
the
least
middle
attempting.
of attempting to.
And then we
So
calm
you-
it down. We'd be like, hey,
No,
hey, hey,
no, no,
hey,
And then we say, hey, it's fine. We're not.
No, he's gonna make
not
our
here to
You're in
kill
an
you.
entirely different location. There
You're in
are
an
people
entirely-
pointing weapons at you, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
and he's gonna
We're
immediately, psionically blow our brains out of our skull.
That's
And
when
then-
you
or
have
suck
the
our
literal.
brains out.
That's when you have the literal devil of hell,
Who also got petrified.
Lucifer, and Edwin use their charismatic ability and just be
my
like,
flag
hey,
got like
hey,
a 30,
hey,
40,
Hey, calm down, calm down.
30, 40 wisdom, 30, 40 intelligence. He's like,
Oh,
I'm not
true.
folding. They're really powerful. They're
Well, and the one thing that I may need to like
tweak a
not
bit.
curb, but one thing I am always weary of is like when somebody's like, yeah, but I'm talking to him, do I get a charisma check? And maybe it's somebody who's like really, really, really good at charisma. They're like, yeah, but I'm talking to him, so I got to make a charisma check, right? And it's like, well,
He's very powerful in
no,
that
it's
regard.
sometimes it's like, no, they won't listen to you. Like it doesn't matter how charismatic you are.
No rolls
Oh.
needed.
Right.
It's just it's going to be too high anyway. He's like choosing not to listen.
What was
Yeah.
the DC I had to beat? 45. I can't get exactly.
Yes.
It's not. It's supposed to be high because
Exactly.
you're not supposed to beat
Well,
it.
and sometimes it's just like things that realistically wouldn't happen. Like if you tried to make the store owner give you a better deal after he's already given you
A better deal.
better deals multiple times because you keep trying to get better deals. Like at some point you just have to like
Pay the
draw
full
the
price.
line. Like,
yeah, no, that's fair.
at some point you gotta be like, okay, this is as low as he's going. Like there is no
Final-
more lower.
Final
you cannot
offer.
get it for
Like,
one gold piece.
No, yeah, you can't like trade in worthless junk and get a magic item. That's not how
Right.
real people would ever trade.
No, yeah, that's fair. So, so they don't actually go inside. There is a staircase, spiral staircase, kind of
That
leads
goes
down
down.
from where the crater is and all that stuff. Very interesting stuff to figure out for later. So we don't exactly know what happens because we leave. So Matt, if you want to fill us in on what happened.
Yeah, what happens when we go get you
Because we went
T-Bell?
because we went to go get T-Bell and then
Oh,
this
what were
is
you going
when-
to say about the staircase?
Oh,
You-
nothing. I'm just
oh.
smiling because of what happens later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't.
It was
There was something about bears.
Yeah,
I
something
know
with-
that.
A mama and a bear cub.
So Edwin like goes in, figures out that all of the pieces are like dead mind flayers and other stuff, and he starts freaking out because like there are some on the outside, but when you go inside towards the staircase, it's littered. Like the
With mind
whole
flayer stuff?
ground is filled with
Ooh.
like this like rubble, like
Okay.
Petrified people.
petrified mind flayers and presumably mind controlled people.
Oh.
Jeez. So whoever came here was obviously powerful enough to petrify a lot of people,
Right.
which is also very terrifying. Which Edwin has every right to be
Yeah,
scared.
so Edwin like comes back out and he's like, "Oh my gosh, we gotta go, we gotta leave." And Lap is like, "What are you talking about? Like, why do we gotta leave?" He's like, "There are a bunch of dead people in there, like a lot of dead people." And then they're like, "Wait, where's Timeless? Where's Timeless?"
Yeah.
And it cuts to Timeless, and she's just like looking around the ruins, like trying to figure out if
Yeah.
there's any like writing stuff like that.
Yeah.
you know, normal D&D stuff. They find her. And they're like, "We gotta get the hell out of here! Like, it's time to go!" Like. So they leave, and then I rolled a random encounter in the forest, and some bears started chasing them.
Just some bears.
Yeah, just some normal bears.
They couldn't have killed it?
They could have if they wanted to, but
But they just wanted to run from the bears.
ran
Yeah.
away.
Okay.
No point wasting resources on
I
bears.
mean, it was a mama bear and 2 cubs.
2 cubs.
Yeah. Remember.
We could have kept the 2 cubs.
Well, look.
Oh my goodness!
Just remember the Revenant. All right. You mess
become
with a
Pokemon
cub.
trainers.
You mess with a
We
cub.
all-
You're gonna get Revenant. Leonardo DiCaprio goes.
We
mean-
all are rangers with Beastmasters.
Yes.
Yes. I wish.
So
Not
like
everyone
they
can
run,
be cool like me and Timeless, okay?
they get back eventually, and then everybody meets up. You guys have your long rest after
Yep. They find my
lengthy
cool...
deliberation.
Yeah, they can't find my cool TP.
Yep.
Because I didn't sleep in the pocket paradise, because I ain't no bitch. I use my ranger skills. I make a fire. I catch some fish.
Dakota
eat-
style fire.
Yes, Dakota.
Yeah.
In case any of you guys know what that is.
So, while he's doing his
It's the fire within the TP, and then
It's like in the ground, and you're
Yeah.
digging an airway to it, so that way it doesn't blow
yeah.
out. Because when you're on like the prairie, and
Yep.
most
Mhm.
likely fire blows out really easy.
Smart move, survivalist. He's on his Bear Grylls. That's survival.
Yeah.
So
Now it's time to drink my own piss.
time to drink me own pee.
Okay, Zion's probably done that.
Oh well,
Ooh.
yuck! Didn't
Hey,
even know
those
that.
mountain ranges were lonely.
I guess
So you
drank your own piss? Zion's a fucking freak, bro. So
Yes.
while
weird.
Zion's pissing in his mouth and making a fire,
Okay, that is
me-
not canon. I only made the fire.
Oberyn and Arthur are in the pocket paradise, and Oberyn kind of, you know,
Spoiler here.
yeah,
Oberyn meditates.
Yeah.
Again.
It's again.
There's
You
reasons.
guys sleep.
yeah. We also talk a little bit about.
But Oberyn also
um,
meditates.
Of course, I always gotta meditate. At least not writing my little black book that I still got,
That's true.
which I'm gonna start doing a lot more now.
Hey.
So it's coming back. That black book's coming back.
No.
I make journal entries. What can I say? So
You got a what?
I got a journal. I make journal entries. All right, I write
Okay.
them down.
Okay.
That's just how I roll. But
I like giving you shit because
know.
you meditate a lot.
I do. Is that bad?
No.
Anyway, what do you guys say?
So me and Arthur kind of have a conversation about my wings
Yep.
and stuff because I mean I haven't showed them off.
No, you haven't. You.
No.
This would be
Like
the first time that people have actually seen them like fully out, and they don't like puff out. Poof. Here it is. It's like coming out of my back, and it
And it like rips.
rips my skin. So it really hurts. But yeah, he saw them, and we talked about them and like why I
As
kind
a
of have them.
As a fallen ASMR, do you ever get to use those for flight, or is that like?
Nah,
not?
well, I mean, essentially they're bone, so it's
Right.
like with no kind of way
it's
to.
like fingers.
Yeah, they're
almost.
like
Right.
like
So I
spider
guess
legs.
You use them as piercing
You
things.
could theoretically kind of like maybe stab someone with them, but then you'd have to kind of roll. Like, how would you roll wing damage? Would that be like
They have abilities.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
You can
assume it's like a
abilities,
D4, and you roll to hit.
Yeah, I usually use the wings more for just traversal, like in that
Okay.
like remember that ASMR that we kind of met a while back in the caves, and how he was like an undead ASMR and he's wing sprout and he kind of
Oh yeah.
You use them mostly for. I would use them mostly for that.
Gotcha.
It just gives
so
me
you
added
spider
mobility.
walk essentially.
Kinda, yeah.
Sort of. They don't
They don't-
give you that like at all in like the D&D
No, yeah,
handbook
no.
or anything.
This isn't
but
anything-
it's more of like a rule of cool thing that I let happen because
Gotcha.
it makes sense to me.
Similar to me and my dire wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a
Normally
little.
wouldn't be able to
It's
have
just
a challenge 3 monstrosity.
It's just a
Right.
fun thing to kind of
But
add.
it's a lot more fun, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're about having fun here.
Yeah. So
Precisely.
we talk about
Exactly.
like that and why I have them and why I kind of don't use them, and I don't go too deep into like why, but I kind of just essentially say there's, my powers are tied to stuff that I kind of have almost like a PTSD for, so I kind of don't use them as a means of that, and also I'm trying to I've been suppressing it for a while, and now I'm kind of starting to get back into it because I have a purpose now in my life. I know what I have to do, so I'm trying to embrace that too, and use them more. Because I'm an ASMR. I can't run away from what I am. It's kind of like we're opposites in a way. Because I wouldn't say would you say you're running from your past essentially?
Right now I'm kind of facing
You're
it.
facing it
I was
now.
about to say he's running to his future. more
Yeah.
like.
Yep.
And where
I'm
am
chasing my future. Yeah, I decided my past said screw you, and I said fine, fuck you. I'm gonna ruin your future.
Yeah, and then for me, it's more like I've been running from my past, but now I kind of have to embrace that this is who I am, and I can't just hide from it anymore. So, and now I'm kind of using that, but he's still kind of afraid of it.
Yeah.
And Arthur kind of gives him advice of don't you have to just kind of don't be afraid of it. It's just something you have to overcome. And you're not alone in this.
Yep.
So it was a nice little bonding moment because
Right.
we don't really talk at all ever. But after my death, it's kind of been more like, I get you, man. I understand. I wish me and Zion had that same chemistry, but Zion's
We'll work on it.
Zion's always calling me an asshole, making fun of my meditations. So after that, everyone
That might
kinda,
be more of a-
You guys sleep for a little
we
bit.
sleep for
Yeah,
about
They come back.
Mhm.
You guys have some deliberation, and you're not able to wake them. So then I think you end up deciding to just take the 8-hour rest.
Yeah.
yeah, and we kind of go through the night shifts and
Day shifts, because now
it
it's
becomes a
becoming
day.
daytime.
Yeah, so it's daytime.
Yep.
Which we all go through our watches, and it ends with me and Arthur kind of coming out of the Pocket Paradise and finishing up the watch, and everyone kind of gets up. And we're like,
There
all
was
right.
no encounters, right?
No, we didn't really encounter anything out of the ordinary. I think Leafa had a moment where something snapped in the wood somewhere, but
Yep.
nothing really too crazy. And everyone woke up, everyone got ready to go, and because of the fact that Leafa and Timeless and all them kind of knew their
Okay,
way.
there is something I gotta talk about.
Let it be known.
When I had that tree branch snap,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Well, I would wake somebody up." I'm like, with your perception check, you wouldn't. And they're like, "Yeah, but I feel like," and I'm like, "No."
I can kind of get where you're coming from,
Your
though. I can get where
Perception check was a 3. Like
you're
you're not concerned by this sound.
you hear a sound,
you
and
know-
it's now if it was like 15 higher, then maybe it's like, okay, I'm gonna be a little more.
Well, and the check was to see if there was anything there. You turn, you don't see anything, and with it being that low, you're like, "Oh, okay, it was like a bunny or something." You know,
Yeah, it must have been some kind of bunny.
right?
You just got to relate the check roll to
How you're
what you're
acting.
describing.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you roll low, you're not gonna get the best
Right.
possible scenario. That's
Right.
just how it goes.
Right.
You
But,
can't be like, well, according to my character, this
and-
is what I would do because I'm this character.
And they realized that their roll was low, so oh well, I'll just wake somebody up and that'll fix it. And it's like, well, no, you wouldn't be concerned in the first
Yeah,
place
because your
because
perception.
you rolled low.
Yeah, if your perception's low, it means you just
Yep.
you weren't aware. You're not cautious of it. You just heard it.
Exactly.
You heard it, and you're disregarding it because it's just it's whatever.
Right.
Higher, maybe you'd be like,
Maybe
oh,
you'd
yeah,
be
what
like,
was that?
that's a little weird.
Yeah,
But that is one thing that I don't know. Just
Also, something I
no, I get it.
something
like,
yeah.
don't try to wake up somebody else if you didn't do well. That takes the fun out of it. Sometimes
Sometimes you just
not
gotta,
seeing something is fun.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because you can't be perfect.
Well, and like sometimes it's fun to fail. Like
Yeah.
you just
As we will
sometimes it makes things more interesting.
as we will
gotta deal
soon
with it.
as we will soon
Yes.
find out.
I do have a
very,
quick
very
quick side note question.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
Like, character wise, like, should I be hating on Leafa more? Because I'm like,
You are
I'm
I mean-
significantly nice to her.
Yeah, but you've also experienced a lot more of the world than
Edwin kind of shows more hate toward the drow than
Right.
you would because he's been,
So
kind of
they're-
raised up that way.
Yeah,
Whereas you've left that society and you've kind of just been all over the place. So
you've been away from that sort of mentality. Like there is like blatant racism
Yeah.
against them basically everywhere.
yeah, because I mean you see them and you're like bad people because of what they've
Right.
they've
But
done.
everybody loves your father in the Dominion, but you don't because you know that sometimes monsters look like normal people, and sometimes
Yeah.
things that look like monsters
Or
aren't
just
just
normal
normal people.
So you kind of
Got it.
understand
You
like
know the world's a little bit more complex than
Yeah, and I
just,
know the,
hate these people because of how they are.
yeah, because I know he discussed it
I
during the
would
session
say. I
too.
would say
Right.
it's up to you personally. I would
Right.
suppose.
I didn't know. I just from my character standpoint because they brought up in session it was brought up like
Do you hate? Yeah.
a prince of an elven kingdom probably wouldn't be the biggest fan of drow.
But a
Actually,
but a
probably hate them a
disgraced
lot.
prince who's been on exile would probably be more
yeah,
of a fan.
they also are like
Right.
trying to figure out how the half draconic works, and I'm like, just let it go.
It's not the fact that you're half draconic.
It's
though.
like,
it's just you have
Maybe you'll find out if you keep playing.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I honestly don't like.
you don't even know the full story
I
yourself.
do keep some stuff back because there's a lot of stuff that if I were to tell them everything, that would give away a lot of my character backstory.
Right.
Same here. I know because
Yeah.
like Brandon kind of like he's like digging at me like so what are you talking about? And I'm at that point where I'm like,
Well, like
I can't tell you
realistically,
everything.
Would you know? Like
No, I wouldn't.
exactly. It should be a shock to your character that you're
yeah,
able
like
to
the
do
like
this.
that patron stuff with me.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Right.
All I literally
True.
just said, Matt, like, hey Matt, this is my character.
Yeah, 'cause I
you
would've
do whatever you
never-
want with this person.
So I would have never met my mom, just because it would have
Right.
Yeah, it just
conceived, taken back to kingdom, raised by father. And
yeah. So you don't even know,
The Raven Queen.
which is, I mean,
Still by
We've already went down that route.
yeah. So
So you take your long rest.
Yep.
yep,
You
and,
end the party. Eventually make
to
your
the
way
ruins.
to
Gets
the
the
ruins.
ruins.
yep, and for us, at least me, Zion, and Arthur, this is our first time seeing it. So of course we got
Your role play, by the way, after the corner turn, perfect.
Corner turn. What happened at the corner turn?
With the light, the corner turn, opening the door,
Oh,
perfect. That is exactly what you should have done, and I am so thankful that you did.
right.
Just for context for the people
Well,
at home.
we're getting there.
We'll get there.
Okay,
We'll
okay.
get there. But
Thank
I did
you.
want to let you know that was exactly what you should have done, and not everyone at the table would have done that.
Mm.
So it's good that you did.
Good. Glad I did that.
Yes.
So
We get to the ruins.
Yeah, so we get to the ruins. I check out those like bodies because I know we kind of inspected them, but I just wanted to I wanted to see if the wounds on them because you said they were mutilated, but I wanted to know if it was like a ritualistic kind of wounding, like they were like a sacrifice because they were stripped down and then mutilated, and then their heads were gone, and then there was like a fucking hole in one of their heads, which I'm sure was probably from the mind flayer or something. But like,
I also did some inspection of my own.
oh yeah,
Zion did, yes.
what do you do?
He collected some things.
Oh yeah, yeah, he did, the fucking weirdo.
I thought you were going to tell me about that. That
No.
was well done. I'm like,
No,
really? That was super
Yeah,
random.
so he just was it a mind? Was it just some
No, he
random
snapped off
petrified
a-
dwarf's
humans?
finger.
A petrified dwarf finger.
Yeah,
No,
he just ripped
dwarf
off a
pinky.
Pinky,
and then
yeah. I
I
collected it.
specified a pinky. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm looking for a stone pinky. And Matt's
And-
like,
And it's just
you
ironic.
find one?
It's ironic coming from you, who's like, I can't believe my mentor would do all this
I can't
stuff.
believe you would take some weird stuff and then he like snaps off a pinky.
He
and
took
like,
all these
"I'm
like
gonna take that for
magical
later."
artifacts and collects
I'm
them and
collecting
keeps
all
them.
everywhere we go. I've collected weird things. I collect the grass.
You collect the tooth?
I collect.
Did you collect one of the teeth or no?
No.
I collected a spider fang, but that
Yeah.
was
Oh, yeah.
more. That was more
And you
for resale
and you got
value.
the the
Yeah.
grass stuff.
I got the grass. I
and
got
then
the
you took
finger.
and then you took the dwarf pinky, which was like that's oddly specific and very
I also
weird.
took some of the plant life from down in the ship.
I can get the
in the
plants.
the dimension.
I can get plants, all right? Plants or trophies from like animals that we have taken, but a fucking dwarf's pinky?
Are you talking
Moving forward.
That's a trophy.
Weird.
Moving for it's memories.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
So we get to the staircase, and honestly, I didn't actually know this.
You guys
but,
are gonna be sitting in a bar sometime later, and you're gonna be like, "Remember that time we went to the thing?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Yeah, I remember that." And it'll be Zion like, "Yeah, I got this dwarf pinky. Why do you have that?" I don't know.
I
just kind of took it just because.
It looked neat.
I honestly didn't know this, but are
The
checking,
guy's finger.
are checking for traps an investigation check? Have they always been that way?
It's always.
Why haven't
an
I been leading?
investigation
I don't
check.
get why I haven't been.
Because you don't know traps.
Yeah, but like
You're not the rogue.
Well, it's
It's
not your
true.
specialty.
I
think
don't know,
you
it's
have
just
to-
like-
I think you have to be proficient in.
Well, it's not your specialty. You're
Yeah.
not specialized in searching for traps.
yeah, no, because I was like, if it's investigation
where the
checks, I got like
character-
a +8. I was like, what? And I was like, well, yeah, she is the rogue, so she would know traps more than anyone else. So that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, if
Which-
you
yeah.
if you wanted to like in game like
Yeah,
have
just-
Leatfa start showing you that stuff so that way then you can
Yeah,
take
just
the lead
teach
in
me
the
how to
future.
do it.
Yeah.
Then you multi-class and rogue.
You don't have to do that, but like
Yeah, I know.
like
No, just-
why
you
don't you
just
give a
gotta
reason why
Give a
you
reason
would know.
why I would
Right.
be able to know traps is because she's
and not
taught
just
me.
like erasing your backstory and be like I was also
I
raised
actually-
by,
yeah, as a
rogue and then
As a wanderer, I just
Yeah.
used to set traps for animals when I
Yes.
hunted.
Oh, at the
So-
top of the stairs, I also set a bear trap. Or
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
a bear
you did.
trap, a
A
hunter.
hunter
and
trap.
yeah, a hunter trap, which
we said was gonna be a bear trap just
yeah, just to
Yes.
kind of give you
Support,
a
but-
visual. So
yeah.
We were
started
talking
going
about
down.
bears when we came back from
You
break.
used some of the rubble that was people and
Petrified
entities
people.
before, yeah.
So we're
Yes.
heading down the stairs,
Yes.
and Leof was looking for traps and everything, and she
Rolls like a 9.
rolls like a 9. So
That
unfortunately,
looks good.
yeah,
Looks
looks
great.
great. And you're going down, and she kind of touches a little tripwire, kind of.
Nope.
Oh, was it not a tripwire?
That's not the first thing that happened.
Oh, what was it?
She steps on like a button,
Oh, she said,
or
yeah,
like a impress in the floor.
Yep.
yeah,
And which
yeah.
sends the stairs
Yeah,
into
so
a
then the
slide.
stairs become flat like a slide.
The stairs each start turning one at a time until they get to the
Yep.
players.
And were they wood stairs or metal?
They were
Stones.
stone.
That makes more sense. I was thinking like I'm gonna get some serious like burn on my ass from sliding down
Somebody
metal.
was like sassing me about, well, what about the what about friction? Wouldn't friction do something? And I'm like,
No, you're
dude, at a steep incline, it doesn't matter if there's friction or not. It's a spiral staircase sending you
just
down.
yeah. So we're
Like,
we're sliding down,
on a
Yeah.
flat surface. Like,
and we're trying to grab onto something or whatever, and then as we're
It was
sliding,
me, guys. I questioned it.
Great
I'm
job.
just kidding. I did not.
no, I said you didn't. I don't think.
it might
but
have, it might have either been Leof
like-
or Timeless who
I was like-
probably talked about it.
in the magical world of D&D, you're gonna sass me over
About
my
friction?
trap with friction. It's a magic. That's
Fair.
why it works. It's magical stonework.
Do, 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 do,
Exactly.
do, do.
So-
Dude, we're
The
Harry Potter.
owls deliver mail.
Yeah, we're still on our Harry Potter that
Follow
session
the
too.
spiders.
We're still doing our Harry Potter.
I'm rolling my eyes.
especially later, all right, which we're about to get to here.
Yes.
So we're all kind of slipping and sliding down the spiral staircase.
And then
Uh,
another trap
lay
gets
off
triggered.
And then
accidentally
this is when the wire
hits that wire and it
Yep.
pulls something and it makes this little trap door and the little slide just kind of.
Yep.
Yep.
Stairs open up into a hole of spikes.
Yep.
Which lay
A
out
pitfall.
A footfall.
Pitfall.
Yeah.
Yep.
You just kind of.
a fall of pits.
So
And most everybody makes it except for Leatfa and
did Leofa like
Zion.
roll?
Zion.
Did Leofa like roll?
Natural 1.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. So they
What did
both
I roll in the check?
like a 9.
Yeah.
It was low.
It was like 7.
Wasn't it a deck save?
Yes.
Oh no. Okay, so the score does not reflect on what I rolled, because I have a pretty good dex.
Yeah.
You rolled like a 2 or something?
Yeah, I rolled like a 2.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
rolled.
It
really-
wasn't like a nat 1, but it was the next worst thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
And I'm like, well, I got like a 9, but
yeah. So
it's a 2.
they're slipping and sliding down,
Yeah,
and they hit
they
and they get
fall down.
impaled.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Leappa gets it the worst. She gets
Yeah.
impaled in the stomach out the back.
Yeah.
And then
I got it up in the shoulder.
you got it through the shoulder.
Which
one of
still
the spikes.
hurts, but like
Yeah.
not as bad as one that's going like through the like a kidney area where it's like that could puncture some vital organs.
And then when you guys get impaled, I got to start initiative, obviously, because
Yep.
now we're getting to rounds. And you guys got so lucky. I don't know if I told you this.
Yeah,
I rolled a
did.
D4 to see how many rounds it would take for the doors to close, and I rolled a 4. So they had ample time to get
They had
out.
4 turns to
I could have
essentially
searched the bodies in the ground.
You could have.
And somebody did. Or
Someone
somebody just stole one of the satchels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have done a more.
Honestly,
thorough search.
I would
You
have
just got impaled.
I would have
Yeah, I
had no
know.
idea.
It makes a lot of sense when the door started to come up that you're like,
Maybe
it's time to leave.
Maybe I should
It's
focus
time
on
to leave.
getting out.
Did I try to tempt you with the bodies?
Oh, yes,
absolutely.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, because you wanted him to
You
waste his
mentioned it,
action
like, 3
looking
or
for
4
the
times.
fucking satchel. So
Yeah.
he's like, well,
Yes,
there's
I
your turn.
did.
There's your turn. Can you do it now?
I was like, there's some like corpses down there with some bags.
I would have been like, I use them for cushion so I can get higher and just kind of reach for the stand on them.
Well, it was like skeletons.
Yeah.
Not, like,
So, I was like, I wonder what would happen if it was a 1. Like you get 1 turn and then it's just
Boop.
up and then we're back to sliding again. So eventually, I mean,
Well, it would have given me time to search the bodies.
that's true.
Yeah,
So
would've.
luckily we get him out with a
Yep.
kind of a smart move from
Rope.
Arthur. He kind of like tied himself around the rope and then he just kind of lunged forward like down the spiral staircase to kind of use a pulley system to kind
Yeah,
of pull
so
you
they
guys up.
started climbing and then he did that to
Yeah.
help get him up.
Yeah, which was pretty smart.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah, big brain.
Big
I
brain from
rewarded
the-
that pretty well, I
big
think.
brain for the
Lot of-
big barbarian. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That was pretty smart. So
And
then he
a
starts-
lot of big brain moves.
yeah.
Past 2 sessions.
Yeah,
I mean until
I agree.
a little later in this. So anyway,
Well, there was one not big brain move this session.
just
Sleeping
one.
for 8 hours.
Yep.
That was one of them.
And I
He
had a thing that like if you guys decided to take a long rest before, like
this is
had to like
yeah. This
No,
is
I
what
know.
will happen. So
there
Like
are
I s-
consequences.
Like
to
I said earlier,
actions.
I did not want to take
Yeah.
that rest.
time. I mean, I had to because I literally I needed my spells in case we got into something that was
Now,
easily.
here's the
able
thing,
to-
though. Here's the thing. I don't like. I use my spell slots,
Yeah,
but I also
don't use them as much.
I also have 2 swords that I like to use a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah,
So
which is I get it. Yeah. So
you and Edwin run out of spell slots. You're kind of
well,
because
once I run out of spell slots, I still have Eldritch Blast. Once Edwin runs out of spell slots, it's like he might not have enough.
You guys
but-
also need to remember the whole goal that I'm trying to
Yeah.
do to you guys is like restrain your resources.
yeah,
You got to use them carefully.
yeah. You gotta.
Sometimes you guys are just like, I'm gonna use a spell.
okay.
It's
Well,
like you're
mark
gonna
it down.
use like for you, like not to like roast
Right.
on you or anything, but like you use comprehend languages very freely.
Right. Well, I do. I mark them down because like I can.
And
I
it,
would
makes, it always makes sense when you use
yeah,
them.
but it's always.
But like you have 2 spell slots.
I have to. Yeah, I
you
have to use
2.
it. Yeah. So if I use
not
comprehend
So
like
if
languages,
you
me,
use
that's got-
comprehend languages,
that's one gone.
that's half your spell slots
yeah.
for
I-
maybe not understanding something that matters.
Yeah. Which is understandable.
Which
Which is because comprehend languages is good.
not
if
saying
it's
you
a-
shouldn't. Like there
Yeah,
are
but
definitely.
If
like,
I was
times
like
when
a
you should.
wizard or sorcerer where I'm like, oh, I have like
Yeah,
6
you
of these.
can like burn that. Yeah.
Boom, comprehend. But with a warlock, it's like I use 1, I'm down 1, and that's either used for hex.
That's
or
how
whole
I felt as
person.
a ranger. Like I was like, okay, I get to use a hunter's mark once. I get to use cure wounds once, and I get
That's
to
it.
do this once, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
You have to use
Where
this
now
sparingly.
it's like, well, and like I did.
Now
I
you're a
used the cure
sorcerer.
wounds at level 2. I was like, this is awesome. I love this.
Yeah.
having a lot of spell
Talk about
slots is fun.
Diet healing to full blown healing. I like this.
And that's why it's like warlocks are fun to play, but the setback is you don't have a lot of spell slots, and eventually you get 1 more.
Oh,
You have to be very high level to get 1 more, like at least in the double digits, close to it, to get 3 spell slots. So
really?
it's really fucking high. Like I don't get 3 spell slots till way later.
See, but you can have higher spells.
Yeah,
though.
you have-
like.
Yeah, I have very high level powerful spells, but I just don't have enough spell slots to like.
So he only has a limited number of spell slots, but he has higher level spell slots, like that
Yeah.
he can have all the time, basically.
Yeah, like I
And
can
you
do like
get-
3rd levels,
And you get your spell slots back on short rest, don't you?
yeah, like I get them back pretty
Yeah.
quick.
So it's bad, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's the only
You
thing that's
take
bad
30
is just
minutes and you're back to good.
yeah,
Right.
go.
It's just it's the amount of times I can do it. Because if we're doing like a long thing and there's no time for short rest, then yeah, I'm like okay,
Right.
well, I'm kind of fucked.
Well, okay, we also have a potion of short rest. You got to
yeah,
let
but we
me
don't.
know.
We have to have sparingly where it's just like pop 1 in, drink. Here you go, everyone, take 1. you
Well,
know?
we only had 2. But
Yeah.
Anyways,
So we get to the bottom of the stairs. We reach this door, and before that, Edwin does use Mage Hand to like grab the
He
satchel,
grabs the satchel,
opens up the satchel,
the door closes,
and lo and behold,
it's a wand.
it's a wand. Harry Potter, Wand of Secrets.
Oh my gosh.
More Harry Potter.
So-
More Harry Potter.
Which is actually because I saw Matt's face when he rolled to see what the item was, and he was very shocked. Like,
yeah, dude.
he was.
I rolled a 100.
Yeah.
So you roll a percentile because this is the old D&D. This is the part I love the most. It's my like homage to old D&D.
Mm-hmm.
You have a table of shit.
Yep.
Table of shit you could get from treasure. Like, and I rolled a 100.
Which is.
The-
It's like a nat 20.
The 1 and the 100 are always super cool items.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, those are the hardest to hit usually.
Exactly.
It's like a nat 20.
exactly.
It's like the nat 20s on the D1, which is very hard to hit.
Yep.
Because, yeah.
And it was a wand of secrets. You can reveal like a doorway or a trap within 30 feet of you. And it says doorway or trap.
Not doorways.
Not
and
doorway
traps.
and traps.
Yep.
So
And it
reveals one.
recharges. It's like, what, 1D?
It's got 3 charges. It recharges like
Do you know what was
One
really?
dawn.
D3, which means
Yeah.
a D6 divided by 2.
Yeah. Which
Do you know
is
what's
not bad.
really funny when we got back to the house
Mm.
and Edwin's like talking about trading him for something, and then Aaron's like, "Oh yes, I've come across these in my lifetime," and
Yes, I've seen these multiple times. They're very useful when excavating certain ancient temples.
Like when I'm stealing certain antiquities.
oh, yours has only 3 charges. Oh, isn't that a shame?
I-
Seems very useless.
yes. So
do
we
you have any of these? And he looks over to see 2 hanging on the wall.
also. Well, we'll get to that later. So because this one was like a I see, but that's like when we're back at the house. So
Right.
he doesn't use the Wand of Secrets on the door.
No, so you keep going down.
Yeah, and we find this,
Arthur dodges basically a
wire.
garrote.
Yeah.
Basically.
His
meant to
head
cut
would have
your
came
head
right
off,
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're sliding down.
Because he's
if you're
like
standing up.
skateboarding or grinding on a damn axe
Yep.
I'm
down
glad
this
I chose
stone
the baseball
slide.
slide at that point.
Yeah, it was a smart move. And as we're he's styling down.
As you're like, ah.
Yeah.
so
So he-
it was on this shoulder. I was like,
Yep.
So we make it to the
Yeah, poor
bottom of
Leia,
the.
she got gored in the stomach.
Yeah, that really sucked. But there was more to come. As
Yes,
we reach the bottom of
You
the
get to the
stairs,
door,
right?
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that he didn't use like the Wand of Secrets on the door because I inspect.
He hadn't.
Yeah, he didn't know what it
uh,
exactly.
He didn't
identified
identify
it
it
Yeah.
yet.
So we investigated the door for a little bit to see like if there were any traps or anything out of the ordinary. I just wanted to look at the door because it was just a stone door, and it had like carvings in it of like the Mind Flayer, and it looked like he was being like worshipped by people. It kind of looked like it was some kind of
Mhm.
worshiping carving, and Arthur was like, "I'm gonna hit it with my axe to like break it." And I automatically kind of had an instant bad feeling because I was like, okay, well, this is a door, right? Door might be locked. We didn't really see if it was, but whatever. Puts the axe onto the door, figures out that you don't really need to break it because you can just push it open willy nilly, right? And you're like, oh, let's do
That
it.
should have been a
And
sign.
He just shoves it open.
And at that moment, I was like,
he realized.
fuck, no.
He
And
fucked up.
he opens it, and at first it's like, oh, it's fine. Green smoke comes pouring out of the door, and I was like, not again, please.
And we had to make
Constitution saving throws.
We make Constitution saving throws, and there was 3 people, or was it just 3? There was 3.
3. Count
Me-
them 3, baby.
Me, Timeless, and Zion, who gets hit with the poison
yes,
gas.
Yes,
Yup.
yes.
Now, I've been poisoned before. It's not fun.
It sucks.
It does kind of suck. But
Great
at the
for
same
the
time,
DM.
it was 21 points of damage.
Yeah,
So at
that
that point,
hit hard.
Zion
And
was
that was dangerous,
Yeah.
not deadly.
yeah, and Zion was on the ground.
Deadly is 10d10 for a trap.
Yeah, which means at max, like 100. If you roll max damage, like
Right.
that's bad. that's death essentially.
right. That's why it's deadly.
Yeah. So
This is why I had it as dangerous. Because dangerous is like, it can hurt you a lot, but it won't kill you. Probably.
It was
Oh.
close.
yeah, because you got hit for 20.
Probably.
You got hit for 21. I got hit for 21. Everyone else, we kind of decided to go with half damage instead of just no damage, right? Because it was just like, it's still poison. Everyone breathed it in. It's not like I got immunity to it, so so I got hit with it. Luckily, Timeless was like, hey, I can at least heal a couple of y'all.
Yeah,
So
because Timeless took lesser restoration, and she assumed I had too.
I guess it's just that ranger
And-
ranger stuff.
And when she took lesser restoration, I was mid multi-class.
Yeah, so you couldn't take it.
I really couldn't.
Yeah.
Even if I'd wanted to, but I wasn't planning on taking it.
Yeah.
I forget what spells I was gonna take from Ranger when I hit that.
Oh, good.
You chose good ones.
Yeah,
you kept Hunter's Mark, right?
Yeah. You gotta keep Hunter's Mark.
That's free damage.
That shit don't miss.
That's good.
No, but the problem is that's concentration though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but like that's still a good spell to have.
Spells aren't.
That's true. That's true.
So
it's good for when you have like your swords up and run out of spell slots.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Oh, also just keeps a track on people, like
yeah.
Just so you know. I mean, it's a good way to keep
Kyle,
intel.
do you want to know my AC when I have my swords out?
I remember you say it gives you like a +1,
It's
right?
a 20 AC.
So essentially, you would have to.
Matt shakes his head in such sadness and sorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
He's like, how did I let this happen?
I'm sitting here with like the lowest AC of a 13. So literally anything that if it's like a 10, I'm getting hit. It may be even lower, but like.
What's your wisdom?
Yeah, what is your wisdom?
+3, 16.
Yeah, my charisma is like my highest.
Currently, my wisdom's higher than my charisma, but that's
your intelligence.
I got my sheet. Hold on, let me go look it up.
I think my intelligence is like 6.
Rico, go look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure my intelligence is like at a 16. Like I'm, like, if we had to put intelligence, I guess
You're
I think I'm like the
aren't
highest, and then Arthur's like right under me with like 15, and I think then he's next with like 15, 14. So we're technically the smartest in terms of intelligence, which is like, oh, that's kind of cool. Let's check the papers. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, he's gonna change.
Let me see.
He's gonna tweak some.
Let me see your papers.
He's gonna tweak some stuff.
Everything's in order here.
Just gonna erase this. I'm gonna erase this.
We went through this when I multi-classed.
Yep. To make sure everything
double
is
check
in order.
So while he's double checking, I guess
don't ask me to make an athletics check.
Mm.
Luckily, I was able to do proficiencies when I was a ranger for that because
you're a ranger. Ranger's got to be a little athletic. So while he's taking a gander at those tax forms,
interesting thing of note.
Okay.
Here for you, your spell attack bonus for your charisma spells are going to be +2, not +5, for sorcerer spells. Just so you know.
Okay.
So whenever you do charisma-based spells, it's +2 to your attacks.
Your sorcerer spells.
Yeah, when your sorcerer like charisma-based.
Your ranger spells still use your wisdom, which is +3 plus. Well, okay,
I was
it'll be
gonna say,
+4, not +2, because you're still Oh shoot, no,
yeah.
you're right. Yeah,
it was
your
still
+5 bonus is 3 now. Yeah. Never mind.
We worked through this.
Yep. Sorry.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm dumb.
Yeah, like
that happens.
I
make mistakes.
I was like, we went through this very thoroughly.
We did.
To make sure
I was in a much
good.
better headspace. It's not 12 at night.
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure my spell attack bonus is +8.
Lucky
probably.
freaking you.
Because I have a +5.
Well, he's got his.
It's all charisma based.
Stacked,
yeah, so it's like +5, and then my proficiency is +3.
Your dexterity
so
isn't 18 either.
It's 20. It used to be 18, but then I just took like the 2 points and was like, I'm gonna put that in fucking charisma, so I can be +5.
My dex used to be 22, but then we fixed that.
We took care of it.
Yep.
So we're poisoned back at the in this area. So I'm automatically like I'm the only one who's poisoned now. So like rolling for attacks not gonna work.
They're at disadvantage. As
Rolling for
ability
abilities
checks.
not gonna work. So I automatically knew if we're in a fight, I ain't gonna do nothing because I'm gonna get.
I was mad you guys picked the right door or like the right
path.
The
hallway.
right path the first time. I gave them 3 choices.
Yeah, we got to
all of them intriguing.
Yeah, we got to.
So there was a torch hallway.
Yep.
Which was to the left, a dark hallway which is down the middle, and then an ominous light.
Suslight.
Suslight. Yeah, we called it suslight.
We call it suslight.
I described it as just there's like a light coming from the turn in the corridor to the right.
Yeah, and everyone kind of, some were like, let's split in 2s and go.
Yeah.
And we were like,
I was really okay with that.
And we were like,
I bet you were.
I was.
And we were
I bet
like,
you were.
And I was like, maybe
not.
Maybe, I was like, we shouldn't split up in this place that we've never been to and just go down 3 separate
tell me about
paths.
the architecture though.
Oh God.
It's like Alien.
Yeah.
It's essentially like Alien, but not.
It's
alien
not like
stonework.
It's not like biology and goop and like alien eggs all over the fucking place. But I had that like sense of.
It's the stonework though. Look like that. Like
Yep.
just odd twists and turns and just
Yes.
the very like no word like to describe it. And then
Very
alien.
Mind Flare-esque.
Yeah. It's just
ominous.
bizarre.
Yeah. So we picked the right path.
Very cool.
And we used the Wand of Secrets to kind of uncover some stuff. Saw some reliefs underneath because we saw a door. We got to a door. There was like light coming out from underneath. And while we were all kind of discussing with the Wand of Secrets, that's where we saw the reliefs. We kind of heard talking in the
Muffled talking
of
similar to how a carpet muffles your talk.
Similar to just being behind a door and it's muffling your. Anyway, we're trying to discuss what we're trying to do while there's people talking, behind the door, trying to figure out what to do, and then we hear like a scream.
No, we didn't hear. It wasn't a scream. It was a grunt. It was like,
ugh. I thought it was like a scream for some reason. Like ah.
Oh.
Like a death scream, of someone dying. Anyway, so Zion, hearing that, fight or flight mode, he's going through the door.
He kicks the door open.
And we see 4 people.
5, but
I guess 5 you're counting.
One of which we didn't know was dead, but was dead.
The now dead old man, Aaron. And we see 4 strangers. I mean, to us, they're strangers. To Matt,
and a couple
others, they were from
familiar, but they didn't know that yet.
Big reveal. One was a.
We saw it was a drow man.
Drow monk man.
No, we didn't know monk. It was just a drow man.
We will soon. So drow man.
You learned
Very
quickly.
There was a half
simply around
half elven, right? Like half elven was one of them, or was it like
half elven woman?
Half elven woman.
Yeah. With the
biomass,
the basilisk,
stuff going on,
which you would learn about later,
which was kind of cool.
Then,
I did like that.
Right?
Yeah,
that's my favorite thing to create.
There was the female barbarian.
Yep.
Who just reminds me of female Arthur, because
similar.
Look, I'm just saying, tall as hell, buff as hell, axe on the back. That's just Arthur, or in this case, male Thrash. So then there was a human man?
Nope. Woman. Paladin.
Oh, human woman.
It was a paladin. We didn't know that. It was Platinum Legion armor.
Yep, platinum garb.
But with a black band on it, so we were like,
possibly
sus.
Possibly a defector or just like one who just kind of works for something else.
Yep.
Either way.
A type of, Sector 7 in Transformers. We've never heard of Sector 7.
Yeah, that. Yeah, sure. So,
yeah, that's a reason for that.
Yeah. Zion seeing his dead mentor on the chair.
Well, I saw mentor
dead.
Looking dead.
He was
I didn't know he was dead.
He described him as a bloodied man with his throat slit.
Yeah.
And the woman put the knife back in her coat.
She seized her sword.
So immediately shoots out a witch bolt.
In the middle of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then witch bolted.
For the drow man.
Drow male.
Who, it was like for 1 damage, I think.
Yeah, I was really pissed.
He was like, ah.
What
okay.
is there static in the air?
So
what
he
turns, there's a person here.
Turns around and he's just like, I see we have visitors. And he just kind of walks over to him and I'm like, by the time everyone was discussing, I already kind of I was already in the back because I was like, I'm poisoned. So if we get into a fight, I'm staying back here. This man came up to Zion, real casual, not like in any way scared, and just 1, 2, 3, and Zion's knocked out.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here like, all right, okay.
Well, and I forgot, but what should have happened once you got stunned is he should have had advantage on the next attack.
So he would have hit you.
So he would have hit you for more damage, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Monks.
Or potentially more damage.
Right.
But
could have critted.
Right. So you went down. Then Arthur came in. Swung. Like, I'm going to avenge you.
So Arthur comes in, swinging his axe, which he did hit. It did hit a couple times, and he's like trying to stop it and stuff. And so
he did damage.
Yeah, he did some damage, and then
the
paladin sword starts to glow with radiant energy.
Yeah, and she hits crits, and I'm like, well,
rolls a nat 20.
I have to pump a divine smite into this.
Yep. She's the Asamar too.
Yep.
Yeah, which I was also like, an Asamar paladin. Sweet.
AKA Bahamut's daughter.
Holy flame just brings the hammer down right on Arthur. 69 damage.
Explosion of light and energy.
And he's just completely annihilated.
Down. Yep.
And I'm still sitting there.
A hit.
Yep. And then Matt looks at me and says, "It's now Oberyn's turn." And Oberyn, seeing
walks
that
away.
No, I've stayed where I was and backed up a little bit.
I
just
just walks away.
Imagine me, all right, who's already been poisoned.
I back up. Oh, so you mean walk away? No. I back up.
If I walked,
walking away.
No, if I walked away, I would have turned my back and just left. No, I backed up and still kept watching. So,
what I should have done is I should have made you roll a d20.
Yeah.
Because you weren't looking. Maybe you step on the pressure plates.
Oh God.
Thank God.
Next time.
So
Gosh,
me being poisoned, me also seeing our two best fighters down and down real quick. I'm sitting here like, I have already disadvantage on attack, so they're gonna miss, regardless of what I do. So I'm not gonna do a damn thing. I sat there in astonishment at the fact that two of our best fighters are now KO'd, and then we decided, okay, so maybe fighting is not the answer. Let's talk it out.
For me, it was the only answer.
So, true. So Timeless and me and Edwin are kind of like trying to be like, hey, our apologies. We didn't want to. Our friend here, he saw our guy. That's our ally. He kind of, he got a little upset. He tried to attack you. Obviously, he's on the ground.
I know they were super powerful, and there was no way we were ever gonna beat them.
But like
from a Zion standpoint,
it doesn't matter.
No, it's like Zion. Like, why aren't you fighting right now?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, no.
They tortured and then killed your
mentor
figure.
And then now the rest of the party is like, we're not fighting.
And now we're laughing, ha he about it.
It was. I think it was the realization. It was the realization that we could have saved them. And Edwin's reaction to me was like, "Oh Jesus Christ!" Because like once the fighting kind of stopped, and also he kind of mind controlled the paladin and started attacking the the drow, and he was like, please stop." So while he's doing that,
he was like, "Please stop," while having his hand out, mind controlling the paladin. And I'm like,
"Oh boy,
how do I not kill Edwin in this moment?"
Because he's mind controlling your friend.
Because it wasn't like,
I think
you have to make an incantation to do suggestion.
Yeah.
So the suggestion takes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But then the other people in the room
don't exactly
see that.
Yeah, you
did that.
You did some Doctor Strange shit, and now
right.
your friend's starting to
your
attack
friend's
you.
attacking you. So it's like.
So you kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt and was like, okay, so after this turn, they're gonna start noticing it, and I feel like
I didn't say that, but I'm like, do you keep it up,
Yeah, I feel like
I saw you gave him the out.
He's like, yeah, do you want to stop? And I was like, please, Edwin, just stop. Just stop. There's no point.
We're not going to win.
Yeah. I'm not trying to go down on this session. I'm already poisoned. So we talked to them.
Yeah.
It was also my way of trying to, maybe I didn't do it in the best way, but like not every situation has to end in a fight.
Yeah, because I kind of had, that's why I also didn't want to attack either, because like the barbarian was also like, hey, can you guys like, you don't have to, maybe this isn't our fight. And then the other person was like, yeah, maybe you guys should like stop. And at that point I was like, okay, so one got provoked. That's understandable because you just got shot in the back. The other one swung at him too, so he's like, okay, well I have to kind of deal with you. But then the other four are like, no, we're not. We saw what I
get it.
But Zion's like
character standpoint.
Perfect.
I get Zion's
perfect play by Zion.
I get Zion's
for character.
Yeah, because I get Zion's. It's like, why aren't you?
That's what I was saying. Other people would have like seen that and then not done that, but that wasn't the right thing to do for your character.
Yeah. You
should have shot him in the back.
Yeah, Edwin's
and tried to kill him.
Edwin's kind of like
that was the correct thing for Zion to. That's the correct action for him.
Yeah. When Edwin said like, oh yeah, like I don't care if he's dead, like kind of gave me like the tone of that. I was like, oh my god, that's kind of fucked. Like I get you didn't, I get you didn't know him, but like to Zion,
I can't remember if I was up or not because that may
because you were down. You were down.
I was passed out. Okay, so that won't influence later decisions.
No,
wait. No,
everybody got.
No, he was up. Yeah,
and then they're like, oh, because the male drow was like, is there any way we can like fix him? Like, Edna, can you like bring him back to life or anything like that? And then Edwin's like, well, I didn't really know him, so like.
Yeah, he's like, I don't really. He's like, I didn't really like. Yeah, he was. We just kind of came because of him.
Which is, he's not.
He's not wrong, but it was also kind of out of left field of like, God, like
for someone who wants to ride a dragon with you.
like, geez,
Yeah.
like, kind of saying, oh,
It's pretty heartless.
Yeah.
Especially after he sentenced somebody who helped them earlier to death.
But I thought out of everyone that he would like relate to,
I might have to actually change something on his character sheet.
Yeah, because
he's been doing some evil things.
That's what I'm saying. Like his stuff, like Arthur kind of like talks about like let's steal and stuff, and I'm like, I can kind of
I'll
get.
leave that up to you.
I can kind of get.
Like
no,
I'm just saying personally.
No,
like,
no,
from
like
Zion's standpoint, like if he heard that, that's like.
Yeah, I would say
you definitely heard it. You weren't like,
He didn't try to hide it.
No, he said it out loud.
He said it out loud.
He said we came mostly because he wanted to come, and I had no like affiliation with this guy.
That's true.
He essentially just said, I don't care if he's dead. Like it's just more weight off my shoulders. Because remember at the house he was like, if he dies, I'm taking that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he didn't even care if he died or not.
And he comes back.
He does come back.
Aaron does come back.
Which I wasn't expecting. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I really thought he was gone.
Because, like, your reaction was, like, my heart, you know? Because, like, the realization is, like, he's dead.
Well, I'm pretty sure I said very loudly, like, he's dead?
No, yeah. That's what got me. Because I was like, oh, fuck. Like, this is one day before the funeral of his half-brother, right? And the person who invited him to come here is now dead. Really so I was fucked. like, oh my God. Luckily, he's back. He comes back. I'm surprised Zion isn't like mad at him. Like I get it's
at Aaron.
I don't know, cause like just the stuff that he's like, I would get.
Oh, there's some things that need to be talked about.
Just like the fact that he's like hid stuff from you, not the fact that he's like, oh, you went out and died, you know, screw you. But it's like you were like. You didn't tell me about the. Granted, I've never been to your house, but like, out of everyone at that castle, I trusted you the most, you know. And there's just been these.
He's a little upset about that.
That's.
There was, I don't know if you remember, but Zion was partially frustrated that we couldn't figure out what to do, but he was also really pissed that he doesn't understand why this is all happening to him when he shows up.
Yeah,
and it's just like
because I remember when we were talking about like why he would be taken.
He's so confused. Yeah. He's confused.
And then he dies. So now you're like, I'm never gonna get the fucking answers I want. And then luckily he's back. But now it's like,
and he comes back because Abna, who is a paladin to Bahamut, and is blood related to the deity.
Yeah, she's an ASMR, not dragon.
Well, Bahamut is a god.
Yeah.
So he has
like angelic celestial
devas
power.
And
all
of this sort of
which I'm kind of thinking about, and I'm like, I kind of
because he is a deity.
If there's anything about ASMRs that I should probably know,
and all that stuff.
Like if there's anything I should know about ASMRs and how to like use powers and stuff, it'd probably be that really strong one that just beat the shit out of my friend.
Yep.
So they kind of work as like
also killed my mentor, but also whatever.
Which we'll get into later. With the stuff that happens in a bit. So we kind of meet them and we kind of get introduced to them after this really awkward situation where we're like, hey, sorry we killed your friend. He kind of wronged us, our employer. We work for Intrepid. We're off the coast of this island.
Employer. Well, they didn't say that.
Yeah.
You guys, some of you had enough history to roll a check and succeed to know that Intrepid
the insignia and
based off
stuff.
Based out of
so
location.
We got introduced to them and they revived our friend. They couldn't unpetrify our friends because they
that would have definitely helped Zion's opinion on them.
Yeah, because
then she's like, I'm sorry I don't have that prepared today. I'm like, doesn't that fucking suck?
Yeah, because I remember throughout this whole conversation.
Opinion of you lesser now than before, and you were already pretty low on the list.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because like when we were talking and conversing with everybody, every time Zion would say something, it's always, "Can you unpetrify my friends? Can you unpetrify my friends? I just want you to unpetrify my friends." Every time. Which is like, I understand, like I can completely understand where Zion's coming from because it's like, okay, I don't care who you are, I don't care what you guys do. I came here to save my mentor and unpetrify my friends. So can you do that?
We got goal number 1 fixed. Let's do goal number 2, which you both have started these issues. So let's resolve these issues.
So
let's fix them.
They were unable to do it.
Yep, no surprise.
Arthur was given Thrash some googly eyes.
Yep.
Trying to spit game. Lucifer later because he comes back kind of. Edwin tries to spit game. A lot of spitting game at the people who just kind of killed Zion's mentor, but whatever.
Yep.
And they leave. They head out.
They go down a hall.
The option was thrown if we would follow them.
Nope.
I wasn't gonna follow them. I was like, we're gonna take care of
Aaron wanted to.
Well,
I was like, no, we're leaving.
And then Aaron,
you just died.
And then Aaron,
he knows what's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
he's
then,
probably pretty broke up about that, to be honest.
Yeah, see, because Aaron made like a couple comments like, oh, we can like take some of this stuff, and I look at him and I'm like, you're just a kleptomaniac. You're a thief. Your mentor's a thief. Like he's just like, I mean, we could just take some of the stuff when they leave, and I'm just like, even when in death, this man still wants to steal. That's a thief.
That's dedication, baby.
But
when you excavate a site, is that stealing though?
We would have been.
I mean,
would we have been taking it from the group from the 4 people that we encountered?
Would you be taking it from them?
Yeah,
probably.
I think what it would.
I wasn't about to. I literally died in 1 round. I
went down.
You went down. You didn't die.
You went unconscious.
The only person who's technically died here has been me. Everyone else has gone down.
That isn't a very important distinction.
It's true.
So
just for future.
Yep.
I would consider stealing if like you took it and then didn't write it down that you like found it. Then it's stealing because like you didn't you never mentioned it.
When it comes to excavating, yeah.
Or like if you excavate it and then you said, I'm writing this down in my manifest, I'm taking it to a museum or something.
So if you write it down, it's okay. But if you don't write it down, then it's stealing.
I mean,
it's documented.
He did write it down in a manifest.
It. Yeah, he did.
In his own secret thing.
In a manifest.
Yeah,
it was clearly labeled manifest.
But not on the official report.
True.
Where it's like, oh yeah, wasn't there supposed to be this? And then you're like,
no,
didn't find it.
Yeah,
and then we find it at your house. I would consider that stealing because,
idea popped in the head.
All right, let's hear it. We haven't had a D&D theory all.
Yeah. This is the time.
This isn't a theory.
Hard thunker.
This is more of something that we need to do next session.
Who, like all of us, or just specific people?
The more thievy of types.
So not me. So it was Aaron and the rogue, and Arthur. Aaron, the rogue, and Arthur.
I like how you say Aaron first.
Well, Aaron likes to collect and steal. Okay.
Collect.
He
doesn't steal.
He's not good at thieving things. He's just good at finding them and not.
If we could just borrow and never give back to the people.
I'm just saying.
He's like Indiana Jones. If Indiana Jones kept things.
That's what I thought he did.
No, he gives them to the museum.
Yeah. So anyway, we see them go down the hall and start encountering traps.
Actually, he sells them in the museum. Anyway, continue.
Encounters traps. We decide to go back up the staircase, and all the stairs are back to a normal staircase, not a slide. We leave. We get back to the house. We hear the black dragon come down.
Yep.
And he pays us.
He pays us pretty.
Yeah, it was 1,000 gold for the party.
There's 1,000 gold worth of like emeralds and jewelry and like gems, which was like.
I think we each. Hold on, I got it here.
I got
character sheet is here.
I got like 166 gold. I think it was per person, and then I think Zion
167.
Zion got an extra gold
Me and
piece.
Arthur got an extra gold piece worth in gems. Wow, lucky us.
Lucky y'all.
Because we fainted.
Yep, little pity money. So
Dragon was very happy to have Master Aaron back.
Yes, he was.
Which I feel like.
Which I need to talk to that.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, I feel like Zion would be also kind of mad. Like, okay, so all this time I've known him, never told me about the dragon.
And we know how much Zion likes dragons.
The antiquities thing, it's like I never went to his house, so I wouldn't have known anyway. But still, the fact that he's like done this is kind of weird.
He's got a dragon. It's pretty fucking
The fact that he has the dance of the dragons is like that's
strange.
I'm
gonna talk to him about that too.
Like, what the hell is that? Also, we never really uncovered what was on that pillow from when they took it.
We're getting to that.
True.
My
your theory.
It's not really a theory. It's a thing we should do.
Okay.
But anyway, we take everyone kind of starts bedding down for the morning.
Nope. This would be.
It's at night again.
You're back in the evening now.
Yeah, no, it's back in the
all day.
It took all. We've basically been awake for like 24 hours at this point, right?
No.
Oh,
we slept for 8 hours.
Yeah, we slept for. Yeah, we got our
during
long
the day.
rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone's starting to bed down for the night, and then I bring Aaron up to his room and help him clean it up because it's still ransacked, and freaking was so mad. I was like,
Yeah.
What were you mad at?
Zion was pissed that people were hitting on each other.
Yeah.
With the people that killed Aaron.
The gang that comes.
Yeah.
Yep. The people.
Oh, you didn't tell him. Yeah, you didn't tell him about.
There was a knock.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Okay.
So everyone starts bedding down.
Because that's right. Edwin does hit on Abena.
Yeah, he hits on her hard.
Yeah,
Edwin hits on Abena.
Essentially, it's just.
He's pretty broken up about it.
It's his character flirting with his other character and not having any luck.
So backstory, like that group was an adventuring group that I was a part of for a one shot, but I really liked the characters and I liked their group dynamics, so I just put them into my world.
Yep.
Where they
Which
work
is
for
super
someone
cool.
else.
Yeah.
I have other people from different sessions in here too, from in like the past and stuff, like names.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Tiefling
That is
brothers,
really
Tiefling
cool.
brothers, Tiefling
Like
brothers.
Easter egg stuff.
Tiefling brothers, Tiefling brothers.
Exactly.
I'm just waiting for my Tiefling brothers to
Keep
show
going.
up.
Keep going.
We start bedding down. We hear a knock at the door. And is it Edwin who answers the door? I forget. I think Edwin answers the
It's
door.
either that or it's maybe timeless.
'Cause I did not answer the door.
It wasn't me.
Somebody answered the door.
Anyway, someone
Someone
answered
not
the door.
me answered the door.
And the
lo and
it's-
behold, it's the adventuring party.
Yep, they found out
from
they
before.
didn't have a place to sleep, so they chose the next best thing. The place that they were recently in. I mean, they had easy access to it, so I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So they come in to sleep, and eventually we make buddy with them. After Aaron's fucking traumatized over the
Yeah,
wait,
he
wait,
fucking starts screaming
Actually-
when the drow shows up
Actually,
in his house.
Did we mention?
Again.
Did we mention that they got unpetrified yet?
Okay, so yeah, one of the artifacts that Master Aaron, Master from Tickpies, has in his house was a beaded necklace from Chult that
would unpetrify.
has 3 charges, and he used them all.
See, that was the thing. That moment I was talking about before, it was that. Because I was like, you mean to tell me that he had this in his house and we could have unpetrified them if we just looked? We could have found these beaded necklace and just... They're unpetrified.
That would have made the room scene a lot more interesting because I would have told Una to ice breath the shit out of all of them.
Because I was like, oh my god, because it wasn't like he had it on him on his body. No, he like pulled open a drawer and was like, oh yeah.
But it's also not called the beads of unpetrification. They had other uses.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
The
the odds of
Netflix
us
did.
finding those
Yeah.
beads specifically and knowing that we can
that would
unpetrify with
that's
those
why,
beads.
That's why I'm like
pretty
not.
low.
That's why I'm not like super like, oh, it fucking sucked. I was just like, it's the fact that they were in the house. It was like just like, yeah, you just kind of come over here and you, boom. I am really excited.
I'm excited too for the next session.
Well, as am I, but I think with that is where we will end for tonight.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you again in the next 50-50 Take It or Leave It.